4:30. Alan Preston is still at McDermott Park and coming to terms with a remarkable opener in Perth for St Johnstone and Kilmarnock. We've got Callum Davidson with us through until the end of the programme as well. Well, I guess things are just beginning to settle down a bit there, Alan. I mean, it's kind of feels to me it's almost impossible to pick the bones out of that one. It was just a joy pretty much from start to finish, wasn't it?
Richard, it was breathtaking, to be honest. And I was luckily enough, last year I was at Hearts versus Motherwell 3-3, and I thought that was a terrific game of the season last year. I think this is an early contender for game of the season, and if we can better this in some of the next 37 games, or 38 in Hibs and Motherwell and Celtic and Dundee's chances, we're going to have some season. This was brilliant, it really was. Kilmarnock were never in it in the first half, lucky to be going in level, and they then go ahead incredibly, and all credit to Simo Valakari. He just chucks on as many forwards as he's got on the bench. You know, I was expecting Roddy Grant to get a shout to go on. Honestly, it was getting ridiculous how many forwards he had on, and they just ground it out, and it was a brilliant result, thoroughly deserved. I think 4-3 flatters Kilmarnock, if I'm being honest. He didn't play well at all. Maybe a 10-15 minute period in the second half maybe for Kilmarnock, but apart from that I thought St Johnstone thoroughly deserved their win today, and it's a great start for them, and that's what Simo Valakari will be saying. It is a start, that's all it is. There's 37 to go. If St Johnstone can finish 10th, it'll be a really successful season for them coming up. I know other teams in the past, the Falkirks and the Dundees and the Uniteds, have gone on and made top 6. If St Johnstone can just stay in the league and stay in comfortably, that would be a brilliant season for them. And as far as Kilmarnock are concerned, Richard, they'll play better. They'll play a lot better. They'll need to play better. Both teams defensively look a bit shaky, but it was just great entertainment. It really was.
I mean, the remarkable thing is, Callum, and it just shows how unpredictable football is. We were looking at the Premier Sports Cup, the group stage for Kilmarnock. 4 successive clean sheets, only 2 goals scored, and then just mayhem, madness, and certainly defensive uncertainty at times from a team that had looked so solid.
Yeah, it's difficult. The cup games are really hard to read. Sometimes all you can do is try and take a bit of confidence. Obviously St Johnstone obviously get knocked out, and then they go and perform like they did today. Kilmarnock obviously got through, didn't concede a goal. Probably Neil's probably sitting there thinking, right, we're nice and solid at the back, we've got good shape about us. And then they go and concede 4 goals today in the opening game of the season, and he'll be sitting in that dressing room going, this what next? He'll now in his head he'll be thinking, right, next game, what can we do? There's a lot for them to think about with that. Obviously Robbie Dees didn't play today, balanced on the left side as well, so a wee bit experienced in there. But then this month is all about assessing where you are as quick as you can. Can you get the wins? Can you get your squad and your players all ready to go? You don't really want to be signing players middle of this month, because it means there's something wrong or there's something not right in your squad. So there's a lot to think about. I think they definitely will get better. But yeah, as Alan said, it was an entertaining game. Not all through quality. May add, well, through a few mistakes and stuff as well. But it did come off. So 4-3, first game of the season at McDermott. What a start for the Saints.
No, absolutely. An incredible start for St Johnstone. We'll get reaction. That'll be, I think, a little bit later in the programme. We'll bring that to you and we'll get confirmation as to what on earth was going on in the wake of the full-time whistle. Alan seeing a red carpet flash, we think, towards the Kilmarnock assistant manager Billy Dawes, but that to be confirmed. Let's hear what Motherwell are thinking ahead of this encounter at Easter Road. Brian's been in conversation with their new manager Alfred Johansson.
Alfred, you have to park Europe for a few days anyway, and it's the start of the Premiership campaign today. How much are you looking forward to your first season in domestic football here in Scotland?
Oh, fantastic! I'm so excited, and this is why I came here. So being able to manage in the Premiership and see my team play here away against Hibs, that's very exciting for me.
Motherwell lit up Scottish football last year under Jens Bertlascu. How difficult a task is it following on from that?
Well, I don't really see it in that way. I see that it's a club that have built something over the past 2 years. When Jens came, he did brilliantly, and it's just exciting to be handed the task of helping a club and a team continue down the same path. And we want to play the same brand of football with the same identity. Obviously, I'm myself, and some players have left, some new players have come in, so it's always going to be slight differences based on that, because that's just the nature of how things are. So, but with that said, we want to try to consolidate the style of play, and that's what the target of the first part of the season is really about for us. That putting all the pieces together with the new players, and myself included, to still maintain the identity of the team.
Normally when a new coach comes in, he wants to put his own stamp on it. Have you changed anything at all?
Well, I haven't went in here with the mindset of trying to change anything. The opposite, trying to consolidate and maintain. But once again, I'm myself, so obviously I don't use the same words, I don't use the same tone as the previous manager, and I prioritize differently in some situations, so by the nature of things, there will be slight differences, but with the idea of maintaining and consolidating.
In terms of the aims and ambitions for this season, do they follow on as well from last year?
Consolidate the style of play. Try as best as we can to... The biggest task for us right now is Hibs. So we want to win that game, and that's a narrow focus that I always want to have, and I'm going to have it today, and I'm going to have it next time you ask me as well. So the target is to come here today and play Motherwell football and try to take 3 points with us. That's why we're here today.
You've made just the one change from Thursday night. What was the thinking there?
No, obviously we've been building Manny up, and he's an important player for the team, and Mikey Booth have done absolutely brilliantly for us, but he's also a young player that comes from a nasty injury last year, been out for a year, so I think it's a natural selection in a way.
Alfred Johansson, got to say, enjoyed Callum already, listening to the new manager, and in some ways kind of refreshing to hear him acknowledging that, hey, there wasn't an awful lot wrong with Motherwell last season, so why try to reinvent the wheel?
Exactly. Sort of why would you? They obviously looked at the manager coming in, Motherwell, and they wanted one similar to the one that's just left. They wanted to build on that. He talked about a 2-year plan. 2 years ago it all started, so he knows himself. He's not obviously wanting to reinvent Motherwell again, because that's another sort of issue he would have. So he knows that they were successful, and it's actually quite nice to see him think, right, I'm just going to carry that on. I'm going to try and play a similar way. You know, he does have his own styles, his own methods, and what he would do. So he is a different manager, but you're probably listening to him there, you will see a very similar style to how Motherwell played last season. And he knows it's going to be tough. He knows he's lost a few players, a few key players, you know, that have gone from the team, which is always difficult then to replicate exactly what they did last season. So yeah, you'll see small differences, but again, he knows he's, you know, if you're going into a team like that, you can't change too much. You need to adapt and try and tweak things and improve things and make sure they remain consistent. And that message that comes across is the consistent message that the players hear, and they know what they're going to do on the pitch.
And that must be good news, Scott, for those who remain. I mean, clearly there are new faces in there, but if the ones who were so accomplished for the most part last season, if they're able to just kick on and try to pretty much, I mean, he did say there'd be little changes, but pretty much maintain the same kind of approach that they had last season, then it just makes it a wee bit easier from their point of view, doesn't it?
It does, but I think he touched on it himself in the interview about the tonality on his voice and the way he says it. The one thing about Jens was he took all the fear away, and when you're playing that possession-based style of football and the way we've seen them dominate game week to week in the Premiership, we hadn't really seen from a team outside of Rangers and Celtic for such a long time. That's the challenge for me, for Alfred. But what I would say is in the game...
Scott, I'm just going to interrupt you, because we can now hear live from Neil McCann. He is pitchside in Perth with Rob McLean.
Neil, that was a crazy game. What's your view? I didn't find it entertaining whatsoever, Rob. I just said there we got exactly what we deserved from the game, nothing. Can't defend like that, can't play like that, and expect to win a game of football. That being said, you're 3-2 up, and you somehow managed to turn over another 2 goals. I have to say, the third goal that they get, yeah, it's a good delivery. We need to do better with a set piece, miles better with a set piece, and we'll look at it. It's never a free kick. It's 2 players coming in. Jamie Brandon has won the ball quite cleanly, and John Beaton somehow manages to give a free kick there. I've asked him why. He said, I just think it was a free kick. Of course I disagree on that. The video evidence shows that Jamie does get a touch on the ball, and we're severely punished. Said we have to then do better with the set piece, and then the fourth goal is just ridiculous. When I've looked at it back, we're miles better than what we showed today, and it's a stark reality of what the Premiership is like. I mean, St Johnstone deserved to win today. Simple as that.
Talking about the referee, am I right in saying that Billy Dodd's got a red card after the final whistle?
I believe so. I just saw a red card getting shown. I was asking him what was it for. I still don't know that yet, so I'll find out, no doubt.
You were in seeing him. I got the feeling when you came out you didn't get the audience you were after.
No, look, I just wanted to put my point across about the free kick award. I didn't think it's a free kick. John disagreed, but look, it's done. I don't think our performance today merited it. I could go on about certain refereeing decisions that I didn't agree with. I think every manager will have that this season, but all in all, the Kilmarnock fans deserve much more today.
Your team seemed to struggle to get started.
Yeah, we didn't start the game, and from the off, they looked as if they were wanting to celebrate being back in the Premiership and get after it and really ask us a few questions. First time we play, we score, and then we get in at half time, and I just tried to adjust a few things. But as I said, Rob, it's one of those games, early part of the season, and nobody's going to be at top gears, but we need to be miles better if we expect to win games.
You have to take lessons from that, I guess.
Well, of course, I'll do that. 100%. My job as a manager and a coach is to pour over the game. It's just happened, whether you win it or not, and look for improvements, and I'll certainly do that this week.
Thanks, Neil.
Thank you.
Neil McCann with Rob McLean. Callum, you were with us, of course, for that game. I mean, Neil just simply couldn't put a brave face on that, could he? I mean, the bottom line is he's spot on. They got what they deserved out of a game in which, for large parts, they were very disappointing.
Yeah, he's really honest there. He was obviously, they were annoyed about the decision, obviously, with the goal leading up to the third goal, but he actually makes no excuses there. He's quite honest, and that's what you get from him. You can tell he's not happy. He's not pleased with the performance. He did say going 3 up, not playing particularly well, and then losing it from there. So, you know, he didn't. It's funny. He just didn't enjoy it. He just, you know, I've kind of been there myself. He just didn't enjoy the game because there was nothing in it that he probably thought that was good. You know, as even attacking sense. I know he did score 3 goals, but it probably wasn't. It's only probably a 10-minute period after they've conceded the second goal that they've actually played okay. And that's it in the game. And then he's talking about last goal defensively was so poor to lose the game. On it's always the same when you lose a goal. The attacking team goes, "Oh, that was a great goal," and then the defending manager goes, "That was terrible defending." You know, that's always what you get. And I think he'll go home. He's hurting. You can tell. You can really see Neil's emotions, and he's really hurting with the performance levels and how they went about their business today. And the players have also getting a wee shock. That's St Johnstone come up from the league below and outplayed them, so they know it's going to be a tough season, and they know they must get better.
4-3 win for St Johnstone against Kilmarnock. We'll hear later from Simo Valakari. In the SWPL Cup this afternoon, St Johnstone beat Aberdeen 4-3, Montrose 5-0 winners against Falkirk, Spartans 2-0 against Boroughmuir, and Gart Cairn beat Queen's Park 3-1. The game's still underway fairly late on. It's Renfrew 0, Hamilton 5, Kilmarnock 1, Dundee United 0 in the first half, and also in the first half Livingston 0, Motherwell 3. We have got full live commentary coming up from Easter Road as two of the teams that were a joy to watch last season, Hibernian and Motherwell, go head to head. We've heard from both managers. We've set the scene and brought you the team news and the full live commentary coming up soon. Make sure you're tuned in to BBC Radio Scotland Extra or 810 Medium Wave, or indeed online at bbc.co.uk/Sports Scotland. Coming up on the other frequencies, it'll be your request with Gary Innes.
Hibernian versus Motherwell.
The Scottish Premiership, live on Sportsound on BBC Radio Scotland.
So just a few minutes away from kick-off at Easter Road. I mean, Callum, you predicted a 3-3 draw and managed to eke out a 4-3 win for St Johnstone. Surely, this has got goals written all over it, this one, hasn't it?
I think so. I think both teams are going to go with an attack in the tent. I think both teams were brilliant last season. Motherwell obviously changed a wee bit of their style. I thought Hibs again produced. You talk about consistent performances. I think it's just little spells in the season. Apart from that, they were fantastic as well. So again, both teams, want to do well. Hibs obviously cup runs. Again, the formation Scotty was talking about there, the 3-4-3 can be a really attacking, counter-attacking system. So again, when they lose the ball, so you might be writing down on your sheet again, counter-attack. Let's hope so. And let's hope for an entertaining game, because obviously the first one was entertaining in certain ways. This one, I think, we'll probably see a little bit more football played by both teams. So it'll be a real interesting sort of clash of kind of tactics and styles.
Interesting, isn't it, when you think of all the upheaval there is over the summer, all the players who go, all the players who leave. For the most part, you go through the two lineups here. Yes, there are a few new names, but in the main, it's these are pretty familiar lineups.
Yeah, something as a manager, I know myself, it's when you have a really good season, can you hold on to your players? And I think obviously Hibs have lost a couple, Motherwell lost a couple, but on the whole, they've managed to keep the squads together. So it means consistency. Hibs have had the consistency over the last couple of seasons because there's not a lot of change in their squads. You have to add and adjust and tweak it. Motherwell, again, will they lose another couple of players? They've lost a few, but again, can you keep that consistency? And if you do that, then the performance stay consistent. There's no surprise there. So yeah, you're right. A lot of teams have changed, but the two we're going to obviously watch this afternoon have kept their squads together.
And of course, I mentioned the fact they had good experiences in Europe. Hibernian bouncing back after the first leg defeat. They've got these ties coming up in midweek. Motherwell taking on HJK. Hibernian, Skindia. Again, Callum, it's all about getting a positive start to the Premiership campaign, but they'll know that if they do that, then it puts them in a good frame of mind for Europe on Thursday. Yeah,
no, I think if you ask David and Alfred, I think what they want the league form to be good. That's where the majority of your sort of performances, that's how you get judged. I think European games are a bonus. Obviously, everybody in Scottish football wants them to do really well, because it's great for Scottish football if they're playing and competing against top teams in Europe. But ultimately, it comes down to today. They both want 3 points. They both want to start the season well and get off to a really good start.
Well, as you can hear, the teams are emerging in the capital at Easter Road. Remember, Sports Scene highlights on tonight, 7:15 BBC Scotland channel, so you'll get all the action. And my goodness, there was plenty of it from Perth and from the game at Easter Road. Monday night, live on Sports Sound from 6 o'clock, Celtic against Dundee. That's a 7:30 kick-off at Celtic Park. And again, the highlights on Sports Scene at night, 10:40 on BBC Scotland. Plenty to come in the week ahead, online podcast as well, the Scottish Football Daily podcast, and of course live European action on Thursday with 4 Scottish clubs, Rangers, Hearts, Hibernian, Motherwell, all involved in action. The programme getting underway at 4:30, and then next Friday, Championship Live, first offering of the season on BBC Scotland channel. What a game it could be. Partick Thistle against Livingston. So plenty to look forward to over the course of the week, but certainly plenty still to look forward to this afternoon. It is live here on Sunday Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. Hibernian against Motherwell with Scott Allen and Al Lamont.
Thanks very much, Richard. Welcome to Easter Road. We just had a big fancy pyrotechnics display to kick the season off with a bit of razzmatazz here as Motherwell aim to replicate their victory here on the final day of the season, while Hibernian look to put a marker down early doors against the side that finished 4 points above them in the Premiership last season. Both sides coming into this game off the back of impressive European results and performances, booking their places in the third qualifying round of the Conference League. But this, as Callum was saying, is their bread and butter, and it's on this stage their success or otherwise will be measured. It looks like Hibernian will be getting us underway. Martin Boyle has the ball in his hands on the centre spot, just in conversation with Stephen McLean, the referee. Hibs going from left to right as we look at it from the back of the main stand, high up here above the action. Hibs green and white tops, white shorts, white socks. Motherwell claret and amber tops, white shorts and the amber socks, as the crowd here anticipates what they hope will be another fast start to the game. There were 3 goals to the good really early on against Malasheva on Thursday, and getting on the score sheet again quickly would do them a great deal of good. As Mark Boyle, who looked like he was at last heading for the Easter Road exit door at the end of last season, as his contract ran down, only to extend it again by another year. And I think probably that was greeted favourably by all of a High B persuasion. The ball out for an early Hibs throw on that far side, taken by Obita into one of the new signings, Jason Kerr. 3 new signings in the Hibs line-up, as the guys were talking about. Not too much change in the Hibs squad, as Boyle makes a run forward. Question mark over offside, but he hits the byline and he cuts it back looking for Elding. The flag doesn't come. It would have been interesting had that ended up in the back of the net. I think Scott, to my right, felt it probably was off, but play allowed to continue as Saeed picks up and knocks out to his right-hand side. And then it's Jake Girdwood-Reich, one of 5 new signings in the Motherwell lineup, already bedded in the European football, and forward it goes with Longolo giving chase. Interestingly, Longolo, when he came on Thursday against HP Torshavn, went to left back, and Dylan Williams was playing ahead of him, but it looks like it's the opposite this afternoon, with Williams slotting in at left back. He is nominally a left back anyway, but had been playing that a little bit further forwards in these couple of opening games. But Longolo looks like he's playing ahead of him so far. Hibs take the goal kick. We'll get the early thoughts of Scott Allen just shortly, as Hibs bring the ball down in the middle of the park. Chaiwa gets it back to Obita, and out to the left-hand side to Adam Mayer. There's another player that Hibs have just brought in. Mulligan under pressure there, and he's lost it, and Motherwell will try and counter here. It's Vogt picking up possession, right-hand side, looking to try and get the ball into the danger area. Priestman now for Sparrow, right-hand side. That's blocked by Adam Mayer, and Motherwell will have the throw-in, looking to take it quickly, which they have done, back to Faringer. Got a couple of goals already this season. Fabulous strike at Fir Park, followed up by the early penalty in the first half against HB to settle any Motherwell nerves. Back in the Motherwell half it goes. 2.5 minutes in, no goals as yet, as Vogt tries to spin away from Obita. It's out for a throw-in. Let's bring in Scott Allen for his early opinions.
Yeah, as expected, game hasn't settled yet. I think Dave Gray touched on in his interview, pretty similar to the other night, where they're just trying to get the ball forward as quick as they can and make Motherwell defend. You see that one where I felt Boyle maybe just a toe offside, but it shows the intent, trying to get Boyle off the shoulder, down the sides, and puts a decent ball in the box. It's actually defended really well by Motherwell in the end. And then Hibs, when they're in the build, it goes into Josh Mulligan and just give really good pressure from Motherwell, trying to steal the ball and go and create. But what they did do the other night with David Gray in this Hibs side was Salinger went long to low constantly the whole night, and it just becomes a 50-50s in a wrestling match ultimately. And I just feel if you do that against Motherwell and give away needless possession, the pressing then becomes, the distances become a lot bigger, and it might allow Motherwell some space in the middle of the park to go and create chances.
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting to see how that unravels, as Moorman has to go back to Poulsen, his goalkeeper, with low and close attendance, but he's able to knock it out to the other side. The other central defender, Jake Girdwood-Reich, who gets it back here from Faniger. Girdwood-Reich once more, right-hand side, into the feet of Saeed, pops it out to Sparrow on that right flank, but his progress is stopped, and the ball's played forward for Lowe. Across comes Moorman, good covering by the centre-back. Austrian defender was alert there to the danger, and it's back with Poulsen, on loan from Bournemouth, replacing Callum Ward. They've had a bit of work to do, the Motherwell recruitment team. They've lost some key players, not least Callum Ward, as I mentioned, but Eli Justin, Elliot Watt, who had fantastic seasons, will be big losses, you feel.
You can't underestimate how integral a goalkeeper is to how Motherwell play, and I've been really impressed with Poulsen. You look at Callum Ward last year, it was maybe a slow start to the season, but as it progressed, he was for me by far the best goalkeeper in the league. And Poulsen, the early signs look the same, looks really comfortable with the ball.
Yeah, he's going to be asked to play outside of his box for when they're in possession, aren't they? It's a risky game at times, but one which by and large worked for Motherwell last season. Here's Williams into Saeed. Longolo was just slightly on his heels. It wasn't a great pass, in all honesty, from Saeed, who hasn't managed to get off the mark in terms of goals as yet. He's had a number of chances in those opening games, and you'll be looking to try and get a goal as quickly as possible, get the confidence levels up, but his general play has been good as Chaiwa spins away from Faringer in the middle of the park and drives forward and then pokes it out to the right hand side. It'll be kept in. No, it won't. Just too much on it for Felix Paslak to be able to catch, but it was good play, good driving energy from Chaiwa in the middle of the park.
He done really well to bail his teammate out of trouble. It was a poor ball. What he done really well is put his foot across the Motherwell defender, and he uses his strength. That's the strong part of his game. Chaiwa, he's got a great energy, very strong in possession. Then with the space to drive into, he takes it. Just that bit of finesse there with the pass.
Faringer dropping off and picking up possession in between his two centre backs. Just plays it to the left to Merman, who got the opening goal of Motherwell's campaign. Down goes Longolo off the ball as he tried to make the run forwards. He's seemed to be blocked there, but the referee seeing nothing amiss. But Merman, albeit signed principally for his defensive attributes, showed with that goal against HB at Fir Park that he's got a real rocket in his armoury as well. Sliding challenge penalised there. Williams on Elding. Quickly taken free kick by Hibernian just inside their own half. We've played 6.5 minutes. It's 0-0 as Obita tries to force it forward. Picked up though by Sparrow, and back in field inside his own penalty area by Gerdwood Reich. And now Priestman, who's started all three now so far for Motherwell, was a little bit more in and out of the team, understandably, when you had the likes of Watt and Faringer operating so well together. Here's Faringer under pressure from Elding, back to his goalkeeper. They will take chances, they'll continue to do that as they try and play around the press, which they've managed to do here, and it's Priestman who picks up midway inside his own half, out to the left hand side for Williams, who does look good in the early stages for Motherwell, having watched his first two games in Europe. Here's Longolo now taking over. Did he play that off Paslak? Yes, the referee thinks so. It will be a Motherwell corner, first of the game. We've played 7 minutes, and Motherwell get the decision here and an opportunity to load the box and put a bit of pressure on that Hibernian back line. It'll be Faringer to take it short to Longolo, left hand side, back to Faringer, different angle, flights it in near post, headed away, but Volk gets it back across goal. It's away by the Hibs defence. Kerr managing to get it clear, and then it's going to bounce off a Motherwell player and behind for a goal kick. Almost 8 minutes in. It's Hibernian 0, Motherwell 0.
First time we've seen the Motherwell build them from the back, one side to the other side of the pitch, and then results in the corner that we just seen there and the goal shot. The only questions obviously at this early part of the season, and I know recruitment isn't finished yet, there's still a bit of time left in the window, is how do you replace the quality that Elijah just showed last year in the pockets. Whether it was his final pass, getting in the box and scoring goals, he's a really hard man to replace. But the early signs, looking at their build, so comfortable on the ball. I've just
jinxed them there.
Yeah.
He's given it away in a dangerous area. It's Lowe taking a shot on, drags it wide. Good few yards wide in the end from Nathan Lowe, but Motherwell playing themselves into trouble, just as Scott was praising them for their ability to keep the ball. But we do know that there will be opportunities for the opposition, because they can't be perfect every time.
They can't be, but I think that's one. That was an individual player execution. That shouldn't be a wayward pass for me. Take more care, especially with 5-yard passes.
Motherwell have it. A little nutmeg by Sparrow on Mayer. Moves away from the right hand side, and then Merman gets out to the left to Williams. His forward pass blocked by Mulligan, who had a brilliant start to his Hibs career, and it was stymied by injury. He missed the last chunk of the season. Came back maybe for the last couple of games, but the injury he picked up against Dunfermline in the Scottish Cup, halting his momentum, because he was beginning to attract attention from clubs down south, given the way he started for Hibs, having made the move from Dundee last summer.
fantastic start to his Hibs career, didn't he?
Yeah.
And the one thing I would say which Hibs are missing today is what really complimented him was Jamie McGrath, the creativity, the positions he picked up, and what he does was he allowed the space for Josh Mulligan to drive into. That's what he's best at for me. Could have had 2 goals on Thursday night, but I welcome the addition back into this Hibs side.
Yeah, Jamie McGrath among a number of players still out injured for Hibernian. Here is Mulligan just outside the Motherwell box though, plays it square for Chaiwa, and then further to the left hand side for Obita, out to Mayer on the left flank, forward for Obita, who's continued his run almost at the byline, swings it, it's a good ball. Motherwell get their head to it first, but it comes out to Paslak, who's quickly closed down and behind for a Hibernian corner. Good move from Hibernian, still 0-0.
Really good, and a great run from deep there from Obita. And I love that when someone gets into that position. A lot of the time you want to wrap that ball across the front post area, but what he does, he just hangs it up, makes Motherwell defend. He can't get enough distance in the clearance that falls to Paslak, who's in a great position at the back post, and he shot deflects out for a corner. We know Hibs do have a physical presence from corner kicks. This is a route where they'd expect to force some saves.
Yeah, Obita playing at left centre back, and you might think that would mean he wasn't able to get forward and deliver the kind of crosses he's able to, but on that occasion he was in a great position as the ball comes in from the right hand side. Motherwell head gets to it first, Longolo tries to help it further away, Boyle picks up still inside the penalty area, trying to show some twinkle toes there inside a packed box, but Saeed picks up and moves forward and links there with Charles Cook. Saeed crossing the halfway line, and now it's Sparrow coming forward in the left wing position. It's Willie Vogt. Sparrow's continued his run on the byline. Can he get it across goal? He's one inside, a corner kick from one end to the other. Motherwell go, and we saw that on Thursday as well. Very quickly able to get from one end to the other, and they can be highly dangerous when doing so. There will be a Motherwell corner left hand side to be taken by Lucas Farringer, as Motherwell look to threaten and get the opening goal. 1-0 winners here on the final day. Farringer actually got the goal on that occasion. Here he is taking the corner from the left hand side, met at the near post by O'Hara. There's Lowe over on the far side. He's getting pulled back there, and it'll be a Hibernian free kick deep in their own territory. Stephen McLean having a word with Tom Sparrow there, saying no more of that pulling. I think if it had been any further up the pitch, he might have been in danger of a yellow card, but right back in down near the corner flag for Hibernian, and it remains 0-0 after 12 minutes.
The 2 players going toe to toe there with the body strength. Ethan Lowe comes out on top with the ball, it's his side, a free kick. And again, as I said, Salinger just happy to go really direct, just work off the seconds there for Hibs when they're building.
Moorman though gets his head to it, nodded down by Mulligan into Elding, who thought he was being fouled, but the referee saw nothing wrong. Longolo picks up, stabs it into the middle. Chaiwa's picked it up though. Now it's Boyle. Boyle just outside the Motherwell box, out to Mayer left hand side, up against Sparrow. And you get the ball in here from the left, digs the cross out, it's going to come all the way through to Paslak. Paslak lays it back, Mulligan into the area and hacked away by Priestman. Lowe just unable to bring it under control. Decent Hibs pressure there, and they're looking to build it once more as Chaiwa picks up on the halfway line for O'Hara, and now Mulligan into the feet of Elding, dropping off the front, going back the way to Jason Kerr, signed from Wigan this summer. And then Obita for Mayer. It's going to find its way through to Boyle. Mistake by Priestman, and then does well to recover. Just shows good strength, because it was a danger he would go in there and foul Boyle, but he just did well. He stood up and knocked him off the ball, but fairly. And now Motherwell come forward. It is end to end here. Saeed leads the charge. He's on his own. He's got nowhere to go, and eventually he runs out of room, and Hibs pick up once more. Already a fascinating game, and the first goal could well be pivotal in this one.
It really is. I do think we'll have goals in this game today. It's a case of you have it, we have it there. Priestman obviously caught in the ball. The recovery is brilliant. Martin Boyle, it's usually when Martin Boyle's shaping you up in the box, you know he's trying to go on that right foot and try and find that far corner, but Priestman gets his body back round, takes the ball. And then after that, it was just a case of both teams being a bit loose on the ball, but both putting bodies forward. They're looking to go and get this opening goal.
Yeah, Priestman was caught wrong side of Boyle. I just feared for him that he was going to bring him down as Boyle was poised to shoot, but despite not being the biggest in terms of stature, Priestman, he showed good strength to knock Boyle off the ball and win it back in a dangerous area as Chaiwa picks up here for Hibernian. Out to the left-hand side, just inside the Hibernian half for Obita, who clips it forward, looking for the run of Mayer. Back goes Sparrow, but Mayer hoists it into the penalty area. Up goes Farringer to hit it. Clear only as far though as Paslak. Paslak into Mulligan, central area. Back to Chaiwa. Midway inside the Motherwell half, it's Paslak once more. Also found himself on the score sheet on Thursday. As here's Kerr. Back to Chaiwa inside the centre circle, out to the right hand side for O'Hara. Early ball into the feet of Lowe. Not the greatest of touches, but he's done really well to keep that from Priestman. And now it's Boyle on the edge of the box. Can he find room for the shot? No. Blocked by Gertrude Wright. Breaks out to Obita left hand side. And now it's Mayer once more. Rolls it back to Obita. Crossing opportunity. And it comes from Obita. Headed away by Moorman. Good towering leap there from the Austrian. Picked up though by O'Hara once more, and Paslak on the right hand side. 1-2 with Mulligan. Coming back the way is Paslak. Plays it to Jason Kerr, just on the edge of the centre circle. Josh Kerr's someone different altogether. As Boyle then fouls Priestman as he tried to elude him on the edge of the box, and it will be a Motherwell free kick just outside their own penalty area. It's pretty high-octane stuff in the early stages, but still no goals after 16 minutes.
It's been a really fascinating game. Paslak and Mayer on both sides, and the wide areas for Hibs really pinning this Motherwell team back at times of what it's allowed to do when they get the clearances. Because Hibs have so many men forward, they're managing to pick up all the second balls and sustain attacks. You just feel Hibs just want to put the ball in that box and make these Motherwell defenders defend.
Moorman, who's in possession now, looks pretty comfortable at doing that, to be fair. Looks like he'll gobble up any balls fed into the box. It'll be a Motherwell throw in here on the left-hand side to be taken by Dylan Williams, who was brought in from Burton Albion. Back to Moorman. Williams once more. Motherwell having to go back the way. Farringer picks up, but he's been hemmed in here by Boyle, but he does get it back to his goalkeeper. He plays it out to the right hand side to Gertrude Reich. Brings it out the penalty area. Motherwell looking to come forward here. 17 played at Easter Road. 0-0 it stands as Sparrow comes forward right hand side for the visitors. Back the way to Gertrude Reich just inside the Hibs half. Farringer once more picks up. Relayed back to Gertrude Reich. Farringer again. Motherwell slowing things down. Sparrow now right hand side for Vogt. Tries to get the better of Obita. He's done so. Showed good pace. It's Vogt almost at the byline. Obita comes back. Vogt still has it. Lays it into the path of Said, who just has to stretch. Then Charles Cook tries to take the shot on. It's blocked. Farringer to his left to Williams, and now Longolo. Left angle of the box. Up against Paslak here. Rolls it into the path of Farringer, who clips it into the area. Headed away by Obita. Farringer wins the header ahead of Lowe. Chaiwa then gets his head to it. Brought down by Mulligan. Said trying to get back at him. The referee's seen a foul in there. I'm not sure there was all that much in it, but Hibs get the free kick midway inside their own half. 18 on the clock. Hibs 0, Motherwell 0.
Yeah, free kick for me. I think Josh Mulligan does just enough to get his body between man and ball. Oh, I would say there's a change of pace there from Vogt. He left Obita for dead. And that is a sign of life. What I would say, I think David Gray will be happy. They played most of the game in Motherwell half at times. They've managed to get up on these second balls, as we spoke about. But Motherwell do have a threat once around the edge of the box. They've got the combinations. They get Said, who's got a real strength about him. Charles Cook, who gets his goals during the week. Just finding their way back into the game now.
Longolo back to Farringer on the halfway line. And Motherwell just knocked the ball about at the back. And now Williams will just begin to bring it forward midway inside the Hibs half into the feet of Longolo. Tries to get it back into Williams. It was a good idea, just didn't have enough on the pass. And now Mulligan will pick up for Hibs. Tries to clip it over the top of Gertrude Reich for Lowe. Lowe will pick up left hand side of the penalty area. He's got Mayer just behind him, but he can't squeeze it beyond Sparrow, who does well, and he's fouled as the Motherwell captain. And the away side will get the free kick over on the right flank, midway inside their own half, quickly taken as they usually do. And it's picked up by Farringer always on the lookout for possession in these deep areas to start the attacks. The Motherwell third goal on Thursday was a joy to watch. They knocked it from one side to the other, very patient build-up before eventually releasing Charles Cook, and he just, in that left channel, left the defender for dead and slipped it into the near post. Really good team goal, and very much befitting of Motherwell side from last year. But as we've heard, Alfred Johansson keen to make it as seamless a transition as possible. As Passlack looked like he was taken out, and eventually Stephen McLean agreeing with that and giving them the free kick. Longolo just getting his way as he looked for the 1-2. 20 minutes played now, still no goals. We have been promised goals by both Scott Allen and Callum Davison, so we will be holding them to that. It does feel like a game that's got goals in it, but you just never know. 4-3 earlier in the day as St Johnstone returned to the Premiership, beating Kilmarnock. Here's Obita, left hand side, sends it to the back post. Passlack tries to meet it, does that, but can't get it back across goal again, and it's harmlessly behind for a Motherwell goal kick. And not much to choose between the sides thus far anyway, Scott.
No, not in terms of goal mouth action. Just looking at Obita again there, and he stepped in twice from that left centre back position. The Motherwell players just don't know who's going to go with them, so he's bouncing that pass, he's getting in behind. They have to try and find a way to stop that. It's a route that if Hibs keep trying it, they will get in, because the Motherwell players aren't passing them on.
It's back with Paulson out to Moorman here on the left hand side, just outside his own penalty area. Plays it forward into Longolo, but he's robbed. Hibs are doing well, taking possession off Motherwell on a few occasions in that kind of area. Here's Boyle picking up once more. Now Mulligan comes back the way for O'Hara, and Passlack back in field to Mulligan, midway inside the Motherwell half. It's a slack pass from Mulligan. Can Vogt get there first? Yes, he can. Now he'll try and accelerate away here from Chaiwa over on the right hand side. Slips it in field now to Saeed. He's got Charles Cook ahead of him. Mulligan though back to atone for his error and mop things up just as well, because Motherwell were almost in there, but good defensive covering in the end by Mulligan, who'd given the ball away in the first place. Chaiwa plays it back to Obita, just short of the midway point in this first period. Still no goals as Boyle picks up left hand side. Back to Chaiwa, about 10 yards inside Motherwell territory. Infield it goes to Mulligan. Mulligan on the edge of the centre circle, plays it short to O'Hara. Now Passlack picks up from Elding, right hand side. Infield once more to Mulligan. Slightly heavy touch, but he squeezes it to Elding. Right hand side ball into the box isn't a good one, and Motherwell easily able to pick up there. Should have been better from Elding. He was in a good position, had time to lift his head, but couldn't find a teammate. And now Motherwell, the latest to begin to come forward, although Charles Cook says, well, let's just slow it down for a moment, and they'll come back the way to Longolo. Now Martin Moorman on the edge of his own penalty area, plays it square to Gerd Woodreich, and back once more to Moorman, and out to the left hand side to Williams. Williams about 20 yards still inside his own half, plays it short to Farringer, and then Priestman comes to get it as well. Motherwell trying to entice Hibs onto them before perhaps just releasing the pass. To the right it goes to Gerd Woodreich, still midway inside his own half. Steps forward, plays it to his right to Sparrow, and then back the way once more to Gerd Woodreich. Last season's fourth place finish for Motherwell was their highest since third in season 1920. Most points since they got 70 under Stuart McCall back in 2013-14, and pretty much everyone who watched Motherwell felt they were an absolute joy. Perhaps not playing with quite the same elan so far this afternoon, but certainly the intention is there from Alfred Johansson to continue the good work of Jens Bertolascu, who's now at Toulouse, as the ball's played up to Lowe for Hibernian, just outside the box. Out to the left-hand side it goes to Mayer. Sparrow closing him down. Mayer tries to come in field, then tries to slip it for Obita, but there's too much in the pass, and it's behind for a goal kick to Motherwell. 24 played, and it's still Hibernian 0, Motherwell 0.
Just that final piece round the edge of the box, both sides when they've been in there, just made the goalkeeper work. You obviously see Mayer coming in there on his right hand, his right foot, sorry, and he's looking for that slip past it again. It's just execution. And we're looking at Motherwell. We're looking, yes, they're in the same structure, but to replace the individual ability that they had in the areas of the park, what is it one of the best standout number 6s that we had in the Premiership last season, and then Elijah Justin in the pockets ahead of him, who's for me he was my player of the season. It's going to be very hard to replicate that, especially at such an early part of the season.
Well, it's still a few weeks left in the transfer window, and I know that Alfred Johansson is keen to add further to his squad. Which manager isn't, I suppose? But they have got that money that came in for Justin Watt, and you'd imagine they'll try and use that wisely. They're not going to go out and spend millions on a player, but it does free up the opportunity to bring in players of a certain quality. I know Carl Davidson's watching keenly, wondering when the first goal is going to come. Back in the studio, we'll hear from him just shortly as Motherwell continue to play out from the back with Paulson once more. Goes long now, looking for Longolo. Almost the threat of a mix-up there between Kerr and Paslak. Paslak took a sore one, right? He took the studs of Kerr in the midriff or maybe on the arm, as both of them made sure that Longolo wasn't going to latch on to the long through ball. Motherwell just mixing it up slightly, but here come Hibernian at the other end. It's Boyle forcing it out to Obita. Back now for Mayer. Obita, as Scott said, is getting forward from that left centre back position quite readily. Got to have a good engine to get up and down and do that, but Obita certainly showing willingness to do so. Here he is once more, left hand side, and back it goes to Kerr, just midway inside his own half now. He'll roll it back to Raphael Salinger, who's been unworked so far. He plays it into Chaiwa, and then back once more to Kerr on the edge of his own penalty area. Chaiwa picks up again. Short ball into the feet of Mulligan. He spreads it out to the right hand side to Paslak. Closed down by Longolo. Has to go back the way to O'Hara. Square for Kerr, and again back to O'Hara, still midway inside his own half. Plays it forward, but that's cut out by Faringer, and now Motherwell pick up on the halfway line. Here's Priestman. Run made by Willie Vogt. Priestman instead finds the feet of Said. He's got an incredible ability to hold on to the ball when it looks like he's just about to lose it. Gets it out to Williams here. Left hand side, 25 yards from the goal line as Motherwell come forward. Now Longolo slips it back into Williams. Longolo once more on the byline. Can he cut it back before it goes out? No, the referee, the assistant referee in the far side says that it just crossed the goal line, and it is out for a goal kick. We've played 27.5 minutes here almost. It's still Hibernian 0, Motherwell 0. Let's get the thoughts on those opening stages of Callum Davison.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Obviously, new manager coming in, Motherwell. But again, similar ideas. If you actually watch Motherwell in the build, they're actually playing with a box four, but it's the two strikers are dropping. Well, two strikers are not playing with strikers. Longolo and Vogt's going high on either side, and then they're boxing in the middle of the park. They're trying to obviously entice Motherwell to step in. Really hard for Motherwell to press. And then when they're defending, they just drop back into a 3-4-3. You know, Scott, we talk about that system, they just drop in, so they've just gone man for man. I think it's quite an even game so far. I think Hibs have had good moments on transitions. Vogt looks quite an interesting player on the right hand side. He looks like he's got pace when he burned Obita, because we know Obita's quick. So yeah, it's a real interest compared to the game earlier we've had. This is a real kind of tactical game, more of a chess game at the moment, until we get that first goal.
Thanks, Callum. We'll hear from you again at half time. About 17 minutes away as Motherwell pick up right hand side. Stepping away from Mayer. Back in field he comes. Lays it off to Priestman, who goes out to the right hand side to Sparrow. Back in field for Faringer. Sparrow once more right hand side, midway inside the Hibs half. Coming back the way to Faringer again. Just plays a cute little ball inside to Priestman. Out to Willie Vogt now. Back with Priestman. Motherwell with a lot of short, intricate passes. Back it goes to Goodwood right, just inside his own half, and now Moorman. Out to the left hand side now for Williams. Infield for Charles Cook, coming back the way to the halfway line. Tracked by Josh Mulligan. Moorman turns it back to Alec Paulson. The Motherwell fans used to this kind of play, holding on to possession, not forcing a ball forward if it's not on. Looking to use one side then the other, dragging the opposition around until they find the space. and they do so here. It's Charles Cook trying to lay it off there for Williams, but that comes to nothing, and then Hibs will try and come themselves. Paslak away from Charles Cook, forward for Boyle, looks like he might be offside, but play continues. He's into the penalty area, tries to square it there for Lowe, still the flag is down. It comes back to Boyle. Boyle right hand side, stands it up nice. It's a great ball, but no one can meet it, as Mayer will go and collect it, and now the assistant puts his flag up. Well, I'm not sure. I mean, that seems a long way away from the original offside when I thought Boyle was in an offside position. I'm not sure what else he would be flagging for there, though.
Yeah, I know. I thought Boyle was actually maybe just on. It was obviously quite hard to tell. It was a fantastic pass and fine from Paslak.
Looks in terms of where they're taking the free kick
yeah,
from, it is the original one, but yeah, you know, I thought when that initial move kind of broke down that the assistant would then put his flag up if he thought he was offside, but he allowed play to continue.
I think we were all a bit surprised that the ball managed to find its way through, though. I think that's maybe why the linesman is just waiting for that wee bit of time to make the right call.
Almost cut out there by Elding as Moorman finds Priestman, and out to the right hand side. Still 0-0. We've played half an hour at Easter Road between last season's 5th and 4th placed teams. Priestman just catching Boyle as he tried to release the pass just inside his own half. No real harm done. Boyle will pick himself up, but Stephen McLean wants the free kick taken again. But as Callum says, it is a bit of a chess match. This is certainly very tactical. Both sides kind of cancelling each other out just at the moment, much as we thought it would be really open, and it has been end to end, but that hasn't necessarily led to any clear-cut chances, and both managers will be open to change that in a positive sense for their side while keeping the back door shut. As Paslak rolls it back to Chaiwa on the halfway line. We've got about 13.5 minutes remaining in this first period. Incidentally, Joe Newell, who was initially on the bench for Hibernian, actually I think injured in the warm-up, was replaced by Jacob McIntyre. Here comes Mayer, left-hand side, sends it into the box. Good take from Paulson, comes to his 6-yard line and jumps and takes that one pretty well. Saeed and Chaiwa down off the ball, both picking themselves back up now as Williams brings it forward here for Motherwell, gets it back from Fadinger and then rolls it back into his own penalty area to Moorman. He plays the bounce pass with Fadinger once again. Moorman signals that he wants a bit of movement before turning it back to his goalkeeper, all in red, the New Zealander Alex Paulson. Loan at Lechia Gdansk in Poland last season, as Longolo is flagged offside as Motherwell try the big switch of play. Still no goals then between Hibernian and Motherwell. Hibs defeat here on the final game of the season to Motherwell was their 3rd home defeat in a row in the league, so they're looking to put an end to that run, although they did win their last 2 away games last season against Falkirk and Rangers, and of course one here on Thursday night to progress in Europe and secure a tie in the next round against Skendia of North Macedonia. Ball over the top from O'Hara, chased by Paslak. He reaches it, he gets it across goal. It's just too much on it for Lowe, and there's no one else coming in at the back post. Mayer makes the challenge though and wins it over on the far side. He's got away from Sparrow here on the byline. He's done really well here. Mayer tries to force it across goal. Sparrow recovers to knock it behind for a corner, and after 33.5 minutes it's still Hibs 0, Motherwell 0.
Yeah, it's brilliant from Hibs, especially past that there. Great run, great timing run, and Warren Hora plays a lovely ball between the full back and the centre back, and Paslak just helps in the area. Just needs someone to be there. It's happened a few times in the game where there's been just lofted crosses and there's no takers. Nathan Lowe, you're thinking of his physical presence, could be the one to get in the window then.
Corner kick then from the left hand side to be taken by Mulligan, and it comes out comes the keeper. It's a really good take coming into a crowded area, and he bowls it out here for Regan Charles Cook to come over the halfway line. Back comes Mulligan. Charles Cook hits the deck, no foul though, and Hibs have it back. Charles Cook complaining that he was fouled, but certainly Stephen McLean didn't see it that way. But just going back to Paulson's take there, I mean, that's it's maybe a quite a minor thing, but actually I feel like it just takes so much pressure off the backline when you've got a commanding keeper like that.
Yeah, especially when you're defending crosses. For me, I always remember if you get a goalkeeper comes out and just takes it just takes that pressure off, and it allows you to actually spring on attack, which you, although Charles Regan-Cook tries to get down, there's no support. But yeah, absolutely, I've been really impressed with the goalkeeper with the ball, and then there you see he can come take crosses, so he looks like a really good find for Motherwell.
Chaiwa has it on the halfway line, just over 10 to play. Hibs fans trying to urge their side forward. The ball's played into Elding, who's been quite quiet actually thus far. As Scott was saying pre-match, he's certainly got something about him. He's got a real spark, the young man, but he's been kept quiet certainly so far this afternoon. Here he is picking up once more, maybe just trying to find a bit of space coming into a central area, and gets the ball out to Mayer left hand side. Mayer against Sparrow here on the left. Sparrow again blocks the cross. It's a good match up there on that far side as well. Throw into Hibernian just a few yards away from the corner flag over on that far side, the Hibs left. Throw in taken by Obita, back to Chaiwa. Chaiwa plays it square to Mulligan, about 25 from goal. Back to Chaiwa once more. Out to the right hand side for Paslak. Paslak up against Longolo here. Comes back the way once more to O'Hara. Now Mulligan's found a bit of space, goes for the shot. Oh, it fell into the path of Elding, who couldn't adjust his feet in time to get the shot away, and the chance is gone. But Lowe working hard to try and make something of that, but it's come off him and gone behind for a goal kick. But that's half a chance for Elding, the way it falls for him.
It is, but I think he's surprised. It's Josh Mulligan's trying to find that far corner, but when you're looking at all the build-up play and things around the box, it just takes that, dragging a shot, and Eldon just needs to react a slightly bit quicker for me. But I'm not going to sit here and slaughter for that one. They are hard when you're not expecting it. But just on Nathan Lowe, is we look at the presence that he does bring. He does some work off the ball. It's a big part of Hibs' game. You see, they've not had a minute's peace. When Hibs have either had a cross and the ball's broke, he's put real pressure on the Motherwell defenders.
Long ball forward there, rather hopeful one, but Saeed gives chase anyway. Obita's beating him to it, and Kerr picks up just outside his penalty area. Rolls it back to Salinger, out to Obita left hand side, and he plays it down the channel, one for Boyle to chase, but despite his speed there's no way he's going to latch on to that one, and it comes all the way through to Paulson, who rolls it out to Priestman, and now out to the right hand side for Sparrow. Quiet around Easter Road right now. Game does just need a little bit of a spark, you feel, as both sides try and find that something extra, something special that will make the difference here. Gerwoodreich back out to the right hand side for Sparrow, on by Priestman. He's done well to find Vogt on that right flank, coming into the angle of the box, away from Kerr. Still it's Vogt out to the right hand side for Farringer, rolls it back for Sparrow, wanted to take that first time in the cross, but it was just behind him. But Motherwell still have it. Sparrow once more right hand side, tracked by Obita, gets it back to Farringer again. Priestman into the feet side, lovely little 1-2. Priestman's in the box, goes down, it's got to be a penalty, and it is. That's brilliant play from Motherwell. Lovely little intricate passing, and then the 1-2 releases Priestman, and the crude challenge comes in, and Stephen McLean, no hesitation, points to the spot. Motherwell have the penalty.
Yep, and that's a Motherwell we've seen last year, the intricate passing, as you say, around the box, the give and goes, and it just sucks the Hibs defender in, trying to win the ball, and it's the first bit of real kind of magic and patience around the box we've seen, and then he just inject that bit of pace, and it's came at a really good time for Motherwell.
Well, Lucas Farringer stepped up on Thursday to slot the opening goal home against HP Tórshavn out in the Faroe Islands, having already scored in the first leg, and he's got another chance here to add to his tally, a third goal in 3 games. And the Hibernian goalkeeper Raphael Salinger standing in his 6-yard box, just a little bit of gamesmanship here. VAR have just had a look at the build up to that move and confirmed that everything was as it should be. It is a penalty, and now Farringer against Salinger Salinger dancing on his line, away to the right hand side, up steps Farringer and scores! Low to the goalkeeper's left, keeper guessed right, went down, but he couldn't get there in time, and Motherwell have the advantage. And Lucas Farringer, who scored the winning goal at Easter Road on the final day of last season, scores the opening goal of this season for Motherwell. It is Hibernian 0, Motherwell 1.
Camley taking penalty there from Farringer, just slots it in the bottom left corner. And as we said, it was just that moment of changing from slow to fast, and it just killed Hibs. And that then entices the challenge as you speak about. It's a great start for Motherwell. It's been a game, listen, it's nothing to separate both sides up until the penalty, but just the wee intricate passes being the difference that leads to the penalty, and Farringer dispatches.
Yeah, very coolly indeed. 5 goals last season, including that winner here on the last day, and that's him up to 3 already. And well, he was definitely a big player for Motherwell last season. We perhaps didn't get the headlines that the likes of Watt and Just did, but he's already stepping up to the plate this season for sure. And he's got the opening goal here at Easter Road, and well, there is it's the breakthrough. And as you were saying, Scott, it's the first time we've really seen Motherwell really properly spring to life those little passes, and as you say, they just accelerated at the last minute, and Priestman did brilliantly, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He was the architect of it. But what the hardest thing in football, especially for defenders, is giving goals round the edge of your box. But you have to have runners, you have to have the guy in the ball playing the right way to pass, which you see there. And it's just a really poor defensive decision there from Hibs. Just go match the runner, and it gives Motherwell the lead. But as you say, they'll take huge confidence from this. Always thought it was going to be a very intriguing game today. I just think when you lose players like your Justin, your Watts, what it was going to look like individually in these sort of moments. But that was a moment of real quality from Motherwell to fashion the foul to then lead to the penalty.
It certainly was. We've played 41.5 minutes, and Motherwell now with the advantage. Goal coming from the penalty spot from Lucas Farringer, his second penalty and third goal of the season. Motherwell have given the ball away in a deep area though. Hibs pick up through Mulligan, dragged to the ground. It'll be a Hibs free kick. Moorman complaining, but looked like the correct decision, and Hibs get the free kick right on the touchline here on the near side, the Hibs right.
It came from Moorman's decision when he was first on the ball. He just had to pop into his midfielder and back to the goalkeeper. He actually turns round and plays a square 5-yard pass to his full-back, who's got 2 Hibs players round him. Now they have to defend a set piece.
Paslak and Mayer over this one. It's going to be Mayer with the left foot to swing it in, but can't get it beyond Longolo at the edge of the box there. It's a poor delivery. Hibs trying to work it back into the Motherwell penalty area, but no way through for the moment. Ball bouncing around in the middle of the park. Priestman and Mulligan contesting it. Boyle flicking it on, almost finds its way through to Lowe, but Moorman was in the way. Looks like a good solid addition to that Motherwell backline as Chaiwa takes a chance but does really well to lift it over the head of Charles Cook. Then he tries to move away from him and he's knocked the ball out of play, and the throw-in's quickly taken by Charles Cook for Sparrow. Right hand side, cuts it back for Saeed at the edge of the box. Can he get the shot off here? It's blocked by Kerr. Comes back to Charles Cook, who goes for a goal and he's not far away. My goodness, that was almost number 2 for Motherwell. Hibs only themselves to blame there as Chaiwa with good play initially, but then knocked it out of play. Motherwell with a quick throw-in, and Charles Cook ultimately with a shot flashing wide of goal. It's still Hibernian 0, Motherwell 1.
Yeah, Chaiwa caught in the ball, trying to be too casual, and Motherwell just take the quick throw-in. It's a great pick out to the edge of the box. I think it's Saeed tries to get the shot away first, and it then falls to Charles Cook. You just think, can you find that bottom corner? And misses by a couple of yards.
Down goes Longlow down below us, and it will be a Motherwell free kick midway inside their own half. Just 1 additional minute is going to be added on at the end here. We're hearing Raphael Salinger will feel a bit bemused that he's had virtually nothing to do in the game beyond pick the ball out the back of the net. But you could say the same for Alex Paulson, who's in possession here just now. He's not had any saves to make. He's come and taken a couple of crosses, but beyond that, not being called into action. And that'll be a source of disappointment for David Gray, particularly the way he was talking pre-match about how they'd come out of the traps on Thursday, got the goals they required. But, well, you were saying that Malasheva weren't, particularly great. Motherwell are a completely different standards altogether.
The one thing that Motherwell will do is, because they're patient in their play, they can take the sting out of your intensity, and they have done that at times. So most of Hibs' best play, whether it's came from a beater trying to get in behind and put balls in the box, but nothing centrally has came to fruition for Hibs, and that's the one benefit that people talk about. Why do you play possession-based football? Because for me personally, it gives you the best chance to score, and also gives you the best chance to not concede if you have the ball.
Yeah, makes sense, doesn't it? There's Saeed dribbling through 2 or 3 players again. He just weaves his way, ultimately loses out to Boyle, and then he's off the ball, taking Kerr down. That pulls him back to his feet. It will be a Hibernian free kick. Saeed's going to be spoken to there, but it's almost mesmeric the way he keeps the ball at times. It's almost like the old cliche of the ball being tied to his foot.
Yeah, it helps when he's one of the strongest guys in the league as well. So strong, when you do go to try and get the ball off him, 9 times out of 10 you bounce off him.
Hibernian free kick then. We're already 30 seconds into that 1 minute that was added on, as Salinger knocks it long into the Motherwell penalty area, but Moorman just out muscles low there, and the ball behind for the Motherwell goal kick, and that'll be pretty much that, you imagine, for this first period. Motherwell will be well pleased going in at the interval with the goal advantage. There hasn't been a great deal between the sides, in all honesty, but crucially, Motherwell with the one bit of quality to win themselves the penalty, which was dispatched by Farringer. You hear the boos at half-time, which feels a bit harsh. I mean, Hibs, they haven't created much to threaten the Motherwell goal, but the boos from the home support does feel a bit much, but they pay their money, they're entitled to make their opinions heard, and their side, as I say, hasn't managed to force a save from Alex Paulson, and at the other end, Salinger beaten by the spot kick from Farringer, and Charles Cook with the one other opportunity that he flashed just wide a couple of moments ago. So at half-time in the Premiership, it is Hibernian 0, Motherwell 1.
Hibernian versus Motherwell.
The Scottish Premiership, live on Sportsound on BBC Radio Scotland.
Weekends are filled with things you must do, things you should do, and things you want to do.
Too often the must and should do's push the want to do's until Sunday night or even next weekend.
Well, it's time you started the weekend with something we all want, a smile on your face.
So get the Saturday show in your weekend plans.
Listen while you're doing chores or driving to the shops, and you'll already be doing a want to do at the same time as your must and should do's.
Because you really must remember to pick the kids up from football.
Must or should?
The Saturday Show with Amy Irons and Stephen Mill. Saturday at 9 a.m. on BBC Radio Scotland and Sounds.
This is Sunday Sports Sound with me, Richard Gordon, Callum Davidson with us for the long haul this afternoon. We've already watched St Johnstone edge out Kilmarnock in a 7-goal thriller. Josh Fowler, Czech Diabate, Michael Schoening-Larsen own goal, and then Kai Fotheringham with the winner. Greg Kilty, Joe Hugo, and then Jason Holt own goal had at one stage put Kilmarnock 3-2 in front. We heard from the managers, obviously, or we will be hearing from Simo Valakari. We heard from Neil McCann, who was so disappointed and said that Kilmarnock got exactly what they deserve from that one. St Johnstone were a breath of fresh air, great to watch. So Simo to come, and we're midway through the one remaining game of this afternoon, where Motherwell have the advantage thanks to Lucas Farringer's penalty. Motherwell played 3 games this season. He's scored on all 3, 2 of them from this spot. It has, Callum, it's been a tight 45 minutes, hasn't it, throughout?
Yeah, completely different from the first game we've watched this afternoon. I think David Gray is going to be really disappointed. I thought Hibs were the better team for the first 38 minutes. I think Motherwell didn't offer anything. The one thing you don't want to do against Motherwell, though, is go a goal down, because they try and dominate the ball, because they try and pin you back with their two wide players, and then they drop in, they overload the middle areas. They try and use their numerical advantage just to keep the ball, and they're really good at it. Hibs have had chances on transitions, as we talk about on counters. I just think they need a little bit more quality when they do that. They've won the ball back in good areas. I thought their press has been really good. I think Lowe has led the line really well for them. Again, now it's going to be a different challenge for Hibs second half, because Motherwell will keep it. Now the space will open up for them, because again, I don't think they did a lot when I've watched the game, apart from that sort of one rash sort of moment from Josh diving in. I don't know, he was never getting the ball, and he knew straight away as soon as he's committed to the challenge, he knew he was giving away a penalty, and that's the difference between the two teams. So it's going to be a really interesting and difficult second half for Hibs. How do they get back into the game? And then Motherwell, I think they'll just play the same way, but they'll probably have a more attacking threat as the space will open up.
Yeah, look, it was always a fascinating game. There was plenty to keep you occupied, but I've got to say I didn't make a single note of it until that 38th minute. And the move, Hibs will be frustrated that they've been kind of sucked into conceding the penalty, I suppose, but the patience and then that switch of pace and the sudden direct burst into the box. I mean, it was so reminiscent of so much of what we saw from Motherwell last season, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's one of those things. I think the higher level you go, I think it is. It's all nice and patient, and then it's that sort of speed of attack, the speed of movement. That's again levels you go up. And that's what Motherwell are trying to replicate. I just think it's really just got. If Josh stays on his feet, he just tracks the runner. Just keeps him pushing him down the line. It's just a real kind of moment he'll look back on and think, why did I do that?
Is that just frustration that comes from a player? Motherwell had kept the ball for fun. They'd been knocking it back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. No touch for a Hibs player, and he's just lost it in that moment.
No, I don't think so. I think it's just one of those moments. He just made the wrong decision. Because I think Hibs are probably in more control of the game than Motherwell. So I think for me it's just one of those moments. I've done it a few times myself where you just think, why did I do that? But now it's going to be an uphill challenge. It wasn't. You say you didn't write any notes down, but I actually found it really interesting how both teams were trying to go about their business.
Yeah.
Scott was talking about how they played it into low, which again they need to do it with better quality because they've got the good movement off them. I thought they managed to keep the ball well. Obita stepping in on that side. How do they deal with that? Then Motherwell obviously playing with no striker when they've got the ball, just to create that overload. I found it really interesting. It wasn't the most exciting game. It hasn't been the most exciting game to watch, but tactically it's been really interesting. The pitch looks big, and I think again it's like there. Just looking at the goal back, I think it's Martin Boyle just switches off a little bit and makes that sort of split decision. Hibs have done it. Motherwell have done it a couple of times on their side, but they haven't been punished for it.
Is that a game that needed a goal before half-time? Is that a goal that could completely turn things around in terms of the flow of play in the second half?
Yeah, I think so. I think every game needs a goal. I think somebody should just start 1-0 up and then say, right, let's go and play. I think it was a game definitely that needed. They've also had European games, but I think it definitely needed a goal. I think it'll be a second half, obviously with St Johnstone Kilmarnock game was a lot more exciting because teams have to have a go. I think Hibs will have to sort of commit more bodies forward, try and press even higher than they have done again, but that will open space, so you'll see a lot of transitions during the second half, more so for Motherwell, and then Hibs have just got to try and ask more questions of. That's the one thing you can say in the game. They haven't really expulsed any goals, they haven't really asked any questions, they haven't really had any sort of sustained threat on the Motherwell goal, but then that's down to Motherwell how comfortable they are on the ball.
Yeah, I just watched the replay again there. I think that might be the quickest that John Beaton has ever pointed. Sorry, it's Steve McLean, isn't it? Has ever pointed to the penalty spot.
Yeah, I was going to argue with John Beaton there. I was going to say something different. He's done it at Easter Road for me. No, yeah, I think it was an easy decision. I don't think it wasn't even a debate. You saw Josh after he did it. You thought that's definite penalty. So yeah, it was an easy decision for the referee to get.
Hibernian 0, Motherwell 1. Lucas fighting over the penalty 5 minutes before half time. As I mentioned earlier, it was a brilliant game, absolutely brilliant game at McDiarmid Park. St Johnstone edging out Kilmarnock by 4-3 thanks to the winner from Kai Fotheringham with just 10 minutes to go. We heard from Neil McCann, less than happy with his team's performance. Let's hear what Simo Valakari had to say to Rob McLean.
Simo, is McDermott Park going to be the home of entertainment this season?
Oh, what a night. What a night. What a day. What a day. And of course, it was a big day for the club as well, to see the championship club flag, from the last season, and then play our first Premiership game in front of our home fans. And when we leave those emotions out and we look at football, I think our players, they did play well today. They started game very well, score a goal. Then, of course, we play against a quality opponent, good players, well-coached team as well. They push us, 1 half time, started brightly second half, get the goal. And then comes then welcome to life of the Premiership. From nothing, you are 3-2 down. And then you start asking the question, okay, what's happening now? Because we have not been there yet as a team. But we have been tested with our players last season already. Of course, different level. Now it is a different level. But how our players, they never gave up. They pushed, and doing the right football things. We looked all the time dangerous. We still took care of the defending, but we were not losing the total control of the game, just going crazy. But we wanted to attack, but in our way. And then in the end, I think we deserved to win.
I think a lot of people have been blown away today by the quality of St Johnstone's football.
Yeah, and of course, that's how we try to do the things, and a lot of discussion, because we played like this last year, and it's not like 3-2 situation when we're 3-2 down. It's a good example that, okay, St Johnstone, it's a nice team, they play nice football, but they concede goals, they lose the matches. It was important to win today. It was important to win today because those 3 points, they will stay with us, until the end of the season. And as I said it before the match, we need to play with our strengths, and our strength is to play with the ball. And then we need to somehow hide our weaknesses that we can stay in the matches. And today the boys, they did well.
And I think, as you say, the players answered a lot of questions today. Even when the game turned against them, they still produced. And I think credit to you as well for pushing so many attacking players forward.
Yeah, because we have so good options, from the bench. But what pleased me most is today was a real squad effort. The players who started, they did their job. They gave everything. We took some big players out. We put some big players back in there, from the bench, and everyone contributed there, and that's I'm most pleased. But yes, I know there has been a lot of talk. There has been this and this, outside noise where we are with this, how we can do it. We did not get that low, but same now, we are not getting carried away that this and this. We know where we are. We know what we need to improve. We know there is maybe some suffering in front of us, but we enjoyed today. Now we recover, and we need to be ready for the next weekend.
Simo Valakari absolutely thrilled, as he should be. Some really interesting points he made there, Callum. I think that one about moving, we moved out a couple of our big players. I'm assuming it's Jason Holt, Rhys McAleer he's talking about there, and highlighting the squad effort. And those who came on absolutely made an impact in the closing stages of the game, didn't they?
Yeah, definitely. I think as a manager it's great when you make those changes. You actually take a couple of your big players out and it works. Because then what you do is you get a big buy-in from the rest of the players to know that, yeah, it's not just going to be about your big hitters, it's going to be about everybody's involved, and they actually managed to change the game for St Johnstone. So he'll be really pleased. I know he'll be pleased with the win, but he'll also be pleased with that little aspect because he's got a win there with his group, and he can then manage that. It's a lot easier for him to manage if he did it the other way and he took off his big players and then they end up losing the game 5-2. Then obviously then it becomes more of a problem for him to do it. So he'll be really pleased. Deep down as a manager, you're really pleased when things like that work. I know the young lad came on, we thought he scored with his first touch and it got given an OG. Those little things again are great for him, and he knows what his task is. He knows they're not going to be at the top of the table. He knows where he is in the league. He knows what he has to do. So what I liked about him as well, he did change it towards the end and he actually put like a back three in. He put another defensive midfielder in. Yeah. Maybe last year, 2 seasons ago, he might have kept attacking and then ended up losing the goal. But there he showed up. He went to a back five and he put a defensive midfielder in when he went 4-3 for the last, I think, 5 minutes, and it was quite a comfortable one in the end.
Yeah, he was talking about the fact they got that second goal right after half time, and anyone who'd watched the game would have known that St Johnstone deserved to be in front at that point. And then, as he put it, a 4-minute spell, welcome to life in the Premiership. That must have been devastating for him at that point.
Yeah, he knows he's good. He talks really well. I think he gives obviously Kilmarnock a lot of respect and other teams and other managers. He knows how hard it is. It's a really hard job, and he knows the quality is going to be better this year. You know, I think, and that's the difference in level. He's talking about the speed of play, slow, quick, and then obviously the quality of players have that they get a one, couple of chances and they score, where maybe in Championship they need 4 or 5 to score. So he knows it's going to be tough that way.
The other thing I loved there was he said, you know, we need to play to our strengths, but we need to hide our weaknesses. It's a lovely way of putting it. I mean, we know exactly what he means.
Yeah, it's actually a good one to use, just to say he's not very good at something. It's actually a good language. It's very clever how he says it. You know, I think what he's saying is he's not going to he plays to his strengths, which were last year's team. You know how we played, so he's going to play the same way. We had the discussion about this. He is going to play the same way, but he knows that he can't concede goals and chances at this level, and that's the big one. If he can score and create, brilliant as he did last season. Now he knows if he can stop conceding poor goals, they'll have a much better chance of survival and doing really well this season.
But there was that suggestion there of a nod to a more pragmatic approach with the introductions. You said later on, Macaulay Tate coming on and Jack Baird.
Yep.
Coming on at the back there, so you know, he's well aware. I think it's going to be, if this carries on, and I know we're only one game in, but it's going to be a lot of fun watching St Johnstone this season, I think, isn't it? Yeah,
definitely. There's definitely going to be goals at both ends, and for me, obviously, hopefully, he can score more at the attacking end than the other end. Obviously, you know, that's what you want to see. Well, I want to see from St Johnstone. You know, you want to see them do well. But yeah, it was a great game. Completely different one we've got this afternoon later on. The one we're watching just now. So yeah, I do like the way he speaks.
Right, 1-0 as you mentioned in the second of our matches. We're at the midway point. It's that's penalty that's Lucas Fadinger stroked away that separates the sides. Are you anticipating Motherwell to be pretty much the same second half as they were first? Yeah, I think so. I think there'll be more of a threat second half. I think they'll have more chances on the counter attack. I think Hibs will have to push a lot more. Again, gaps will open up. So again, I think, as you say, sometimes a goal helps a game. You know, I think it was a wee bit. I know I could hear some supporters booing. I thought Hibs actually played okay with the goal they conceded. You know, it doesn't help just before half time because that's what sets everybody's mood at the stadium. I think it's really important for the Hibs fans to get behind their team and make sure they can push them on to 3 points. I mean, it kind of almost doesn't matter how your team has played in the first half. It's all dictated by the scoreline, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
That's the reaction from fans.
Yes, that's it. You know, we know what business we're in. You know, is it entertainment? Is it points? Is it victories? You know, I think you know what type when your supporters what they want. And Hibs fans obviously want to be successful. I think their neighbours were so good last season. I think it goes unnoticed how good Hibs were last season, and that's an unfortunate thing. But they're going to have to perform at level for the second half.
Highlights of both matches on Sportscene tonight, 7:15 BBC Scotland, the 4-3 win for St Johnstone against Kilmarnock, and right now it's a 1-0 lead for Motherwell at Easter Road against Hibernian. Full live second half commentary to come with Scott Allen and Al Lamont.
Thanks again, Rich. Team's back out, ready to get us underway. It's Motherwell to kick us off. They'll go from left to right in this second half as we watch from the back of the main stand, and Regan Charles Cook just rolls it back to Martin Moorman. It's got a little bit cloudier overhead in this second half. It was nice and warm earlier on here in Leith, and both sets of players have returned for this second period unchanged, no substitutions, which is probably marginally more surprising for Hibs than it is for Motherwell, but you would imagine David Gray will give it 10 or 15 minutes to see if his starting 11 can change things before he changes things, as Farringer loses out in his own half, but then Sparrow helps him out and knocks the ball out of play, and it'll be a throw-in quickly taken left hand side by Obita. Now it's Chaiwa in the Motherwell half, back to O'Hara. Now Jason Kerr, back to Chaiwa, and Kerr once more inside his own half, plays it square for O'Hara. He's going to have to go back the way. He was looking for an angle on the right hand side, but couldn't get one. Salinger closed down by Saeed, but just dinks it back to O'Hara, right hand side. Again, he's looking for movement, plays it long for the run of Paslak. Toss comes Moorman, does well initially, but Paslak will just see it out, and it will be an early Hibs corner in the second half. The Hibs fans looking for a response, aren't they?
Yeah, and rightly so. 0 shots on target in that first half. For all we speak about how good Motherwell are on the ball, off the ball, last season and over the last 2 European games, they don't give a lot away, and the onus is now on Hibs to get back into this game.
Corner kick they have on the right. It's Mayer who sends it in. Out comes Paulson again. It's a good fist to it, but it'll be gathered by Elding. Quickly charged down by a combination of Longolo and Charles Cook. 17,440 inside Easter Road for this opening day fixture. It's been a really interesting weekend. All the games spread out from Friday to tomorrow night, when we'll have live coverage on Sports Sound of Celtic against Dundee as the championship flag is raised. Mulligan getting himself into all sorts of difficulty there, and he's going to be yellow carded, ultimately dragging Said to the ground as he was caught in possession. Scott, a yellow for you?
Yeah, I think because Said's away on the attack, isn't it? But it's just Hibs creating their own problems because they don't really have a way of playing and building attacks to get their best players on the ball. So when the ball comes into Josh Mulligan, he doesn't have an easy bounce pass or an easy ball to counter the pressure. He has to take the touch and then try and use his individual ability to get him out of the trouble. And that's the questions that have been asked of this Hibs side. How are they going to evolve from what we've seen over the last 2 seasons? They're still in a back three. You're reliant on your width coming now from Paslak and Mayer. I think over the years we've seen Hibs with better wingers. Your Boyle in areas where they come in and they get lots of the ball. They don't really have that out ball as such because they're so happy to stick to the free all the time. I just think this season you would like to see a bit of flexibility in terms of how they played.
Yeah, I mean, I remember, I think it was sort of November time of David Gray's first season when he switched to a back three. There's a chance here for Motherwell. Motherwell are in for a second. Great save from Salinger to deny Charles Cook. Kerr got himself into a real muddle. Charles Cook not quite able to take advantage. Now Farringer picks up and goes for goal, and he's not far away from finding the back of the net for a second time in the game. But Hibernian playing themselves into all sorts of trouble there.
I cannot believe he's not scored. He goes, listen, it's a good save from Salinger. He spreads himself, he just has to lift it over him, or maybe look all over the place at the back now. And again, it was switching off at the back. Kerr again just lackadaisical onto the ball. It was pickpocketed, and it should have been a goal for Motherwell. Should be 2-0 up.
Should be, but now it could be one each if Hibernian can do something here. Mayer's cross is not behind. It will be a corner kick for Hibs, but Motherwell will hope they don't rue that missed chance. Charles Cook, glorious opportunity, did really well to steal it off Kerr initially, caused them the problems, but then, as Scott says, he should have buried it, but Salinger, to his credit, did make a good save. Now Hibernian with an opportunity from the left hand side with the corner kick to try and get themselves on level terms when arguably they should be 2 behind. Jamie McGrath making his way back to his seat in the stand. Hibs could do with him as the ball's played to the back post and then back across goal, but O'Hara's knocked it straight behind, and it will be nothing more than a goal kick, and it remains Hibernian 0, Motherwell 1.
So we're watching from up here, and me and Callum are obviously analysing it. There's people involved in football, so you look at the good and the bad. If your fans paying your money here, come in at half time opening day of the season, haven't tested the Motherwell goalkeeper, I think that's where the frustration comes from.
Yeah, I was beginning to make the point when Charles Cook got himself that opportunity about when Hibs moved to the back three, and I think it coincided with their terrific run, the unbeaten run that they went on under David Gray. But is there an argument that maybe it's time to rethink that?
Yeah, I just think it's very hard to be a possession-based team when you're in a back three. I just do. I think it was time to evolve this year. That was always going to be the question marks for me. When you do have the three at the back, what it gives you is you can go direct, you can go back to front very easily. But over the course of a season, that doesn't lead to consistently performing, going on to have a very good season. And in my opinion, especially when you're in your third year, you become quite predictable, reliant on balls coming in every single week. You have to find other ways to go and hurt the opposition.
Yeah, it's an interesting debate, certainly. One which I'm sure Hibs fans will be having. But they're still well in this game. Here's Boyle, right-hand side. If they can get themselves level, then they will also feel that they can go on and win it, but they won't do it just there because Priestman has managed to see that ball out of play and behind for a goal kick. We're on the 52nd minute now, still 1-0 Motherwell lead thanks to Faringer's first half penalty after the foul by Mulligan on Priestman inside the penalty area, and the spot kick dispatched by the Austrian midfielder, who just knocks the ball back there to Poulsen and then out to his left hand side to Moorman. Further left is Williams, forward for Longolo, right on that left touchline, back to Williams it goes, and then forward for Charles Cook. Brilliant turn away from Chaiwa. Now they're 2-on-2. It's Charles Cook running at care. Chaiwa getting back, joining the attack is Sparrow. Comes to him from Charles Cook inside the penalty. He lays it back to Faringer, takes one touch, then he goes for goal. It's straight at the keeper, and at the second time of asking, he clutches that. Longolo wanted to pass. It wasn't a bad effort from Faringer, and Motherwell looking oh so dangerous on the counter there. Here come Hibs though, as Eldon gets it, trying to link with Lowe. That's clear, but it'll come back for Mayer. End to end once more. A little bit more impetus to the game though at the moment. A bit more intensity as Mulligan picks up midway inside the Motherwell half, out to the left for Abita. Up against Vogt here, plays it in field for Mayer. Mayer with a crossing opportunity, and it comes. Low with a shot, good save, Poulsen. First time he's been called into action, gets down to his right and tips it round the post. Really good effort from Lowe as Hibs respond, but Poulsen equal to it.
Yeah, it's good movement from Lowe, just peels off his man. It's a hard one. He obviously has to adjust his body, he just tries to guide that with his left foot into the far corner. Good save from Poulsen, and a sign of life from Hibs.
Very much so. Could be 2 goals behind Charles Cook, and Faringer denied by the goalkeeper in this second half. In comes the corner from Hibs, looking for a leveller. It's knocked away over to the far side. Boyle will retrieve it though. He's got Mulligan in support, but he'll come back instead to Abita. Abita about 35 from goal, clips it in towards the back post. There's too much on it for Paslak, and he acknowledges the poor delivery there, does Abita. Behind for a goal kick. Almost 54 on the clock. Going back to that, the move that culminated in the Faringer's most recent effort, which the keeper ultimately held, but again Motherwell looking so potent on the counter.
Yeah, and it all comes from Hibs being desperate to get back into the game, and at times if they're not,
that's a poor back pass now. Boyle goes down. Stephen McLean points to the spot once more. Well, Motherwell, just like Hibs in the first half, playing themselves into trouble. And ironically, it's Oscar Priestman who is brought down for the first half penalty, who fouls Boyle for the second half penalty, this time in favour of Hibs, inside the same penalty area. And Hibernian offered the opportunity to draw themselves level from the spot. You called it, Scott, immediately.
Yeah, listen, Boyle just coming round that blind side. Priestman can't match the pace. As soon as he makes contact, Boyle goes down. It's a penalty. Steve McLean is checking it just now, but it looked a clear penalty from here, and it's a route back into the game for Hibs. And you said about that chance, would they rue that miss?
Kevin Clancy, the VAR has ratified Stephen McLean's decision. Priestman yellow carded for it, and now Martin Boyle from the spot has the chance to level things up. It's Boyle against Poulsen here. Martin Boyle, Hibernian's talisman over the years, goes in the same bottom corner. Poulsen, like his opposite number Salinger, guessed correctly, but like him he couldn't get there. Perfect penalty, you'd have to say, from Martin Boyle, right into that bottom corner. And Hibernian have drawn themselves level at the start of the second period. It's Hibernian 1, Motherwell 1.
Yeah, never in doubt from Martin Boyle. Always fancied him from the spot. It's identical to the penalty kick we see in the first half from Motherwell, and momentum shift now in this game. We get a backing from the Hibs fans now. If they ramp up, they will get chances here now.
Second goal of the season for Martin Boyle, having scored here against Malasheva on Thursday. He has rolled his side back level against Motherwell. But both sides now have really cost themselves a goal, cost themselves a penalty, both of which have been perfectly executed, and Priestman probably not the guilty party. He was played into trouble, and he was the man who brought Boyle down, though.
Yeah, a little bit different. I just got to credit Motherwell for the play around the box that forced their penalty in the first half. That one was, as an individual error, it's a slow back pass to the wrong side, and Martin Boyle with that pace, it just shows you the importance of giving him an extra year deal.
Lowe chasing the long ball from Salinger. Moorman will beat him to it, just knocks the ball out, and it's a different atmosphere inside Easter Road all of a sudden.
Yeah, goals change games, the energy in the stadium now, everyone behind this Hibs side.
Hibs have it on the right hand side. It's back with Elding. Elding's gone for goal, tipped over the crossbar by Paulson. An audacious effort from the 20-year-old, and it was destined for the top corner as he cut in off the right on that left foot, but for the outstretched fingertips of Alex Paulson, and it's a different Hibernian side altogether right now.
It's a fantastic effort from Elding, just trying to find that top corner. Good save from Paulson, but to have a corner to defend.
Well, listen to the Hibs side, the Hibs supporters finding their voice as the corner's taken to the near post. Vogt meets it with the head and knocks it behind for another corner to be taken by Paslak on this left-hand side. Short corner is taken to Mayer. Mayer lifts it in. Out comes Paulson. He hasn't got a hold of that one. It comes to Elding, saved on the line by Moorman. Comes back to Mayer. Curls it just over the top. Wow, Hibs really have the momentum right now, but they haven't been able to find that second goal. Good effort there initially from Elding, blocked in the line superbly by Moorman, and Mayer just over the top, and it remains Hibernian 1, Motherwell 1. We've really got a game in our hands now.
We really do. Motherwell have to regroup, they'll have to trust in their style of play, show a bit of composure. They're all over the place, and Hibs can smell blood.
There's a stoppage here as Paulson is down, and Stephen McLean checking whether he requires treatment. Hibs making a change, and it's Adam Mayer who's going to be replaced by Rudy Molotnikov. Unsure whether that's simply tactical from David Gray. We'll see just shortly what it's going to do, whether it's going to alter the shape of the side, but certainly Hibs in the last few minutes, especially since they got that equaliser, have been right at it.
Yeah, they're on the front foot now, tails are up. Molotnikov on, obviously a product of the academy here at Hibs.
And here he is, immediately winning possession from Sparrow, cutting in off the left-hand side. Obita in support, in slides Faringer to knock it out for a throw-in, down beneath us on the Hibs left, just about 10 yards away from the corner flag. Quickly taken by Obita into Molotnikov, back to Chaiwa, left-hand side. Comes back the way once more to Kerr, into the feet of Molotnikov, back to Chaiwa. Obita still available, but Chaiwa drops the shoulder, slides it into the channel for Elding. Elding stands up to the back post, and Longo just heads it away out on that far side. Paslak will let it run out for a throw-in, which he takes quickly for Mulligan. Hibs smell blood here, looking for a second goal to get their noses in front as Paslak hits the byline. Can he keep it in? Yes, he can. Cuts it back for Mulligan. Mulligan inside the box. Good challenge from Longolo before he could get the shot away, and Longolo brings it clear. He's run into trouble though. Mulligan gets it back. Here's Molotnikov, steps away from Faringer, then Priestman. Back comes Charles Cook. Motherwell win it back. Longolo goes down. Motherwell have the free kick. They need a bit of respite now. The boot's on the other foot altogether.
Yeah, and they welcome that free kick. I'm just looking at the Motherwell side in the second half, and yes, there's a lot of comparisons with last year, but it's definitely not as fluid. And I know it's early on in Alfred Johansson's tenure, and you talk about the players that are missing, but it certainly doesn't look as fluid as what we've seen last year. If Hibs get their press right, you can force them into playing these straight passes, and you get your Mulligan, your Chaiwa, who've got lots of energy, lots of power. You can really force them into mistakes if they can get them playing these straight passes.
Well, the first quarter of an hour of this second period has flown in much more action than pretty much the entirety of the first period. We're in now to the 62nd minute. It's one apiece. Hibs getting themselves level from the spot after Motherwell had gone ahead, also with a penalty. Farringer and Boyle from 12 yards doing the business for either side. Longolo going down, but no free kick, and it'll be a Hibs throw-in over on the far side. The Hibs right, Chaiwa being closed down there by Charles Cook, and eventually plays the ball out to the left-hand side for Obita. Obita charging forward, swings it in. It's too close to Paulson. Just trying to work out, has there been a change to the Hibs formation that you can see, Scott, with that addition of Molotnikov? He's certainly not playing sort of right out on the left-hand side where Mayer was.
No, he's coming in central. He'll have the freedom. He can go from in to out. He's that sort of player. Dave Gray will want to try and isolate him with the full-back because he can't step inside you and play. But what he can do, he can be more connected in there, obviously. Hibs playing in that 3-4-3. At times there will be an overload in the middle of the park for Motherwell, especially when they're dropping their strikers in. But Hibs just the problem with Hibs, and we spoke about it just before the back in the game, and the momentum has shifted. They just aren't as connected in the midfield as I would expect, especially in their third season. I would expect there to be a lot more relationships. It's one of the teams who have the most continuity within the whole squad.
Here's Charles Cook picking up on the angle of the box, right hand side, after a good run by Vogt. Sparrow now lays it back to Priestman. Priestman for Farringer, who just lets it run across his body, then plays it short to Moorman, just at the edge of the centre circle now. Farringer gets it back, plays it out to his right to Sparrow, and down the right flank it goes for Charles Cook, up against Obita. He's taking him on the right hand side, stands it into the middle, but it's headed away by Kerr. Couldn't find Vogt there with the cross, Charles Cook, and cleared down the line, and Priestman can't keep it in. And Priestman knocked the ball away, and Priestman was booked when he conceded the penalty, and he's pretty fortunate that Stephen McLean hasn't found him guilty of essentially time wasting there, as Hibs looked to take the quick throw in. Liam Craig having a word with the fourth official. I'm sure it's about that, because Hibs wanted to take that quick throw in, and Priestman prevented them from doing so. Motherwell are going to make a couple of changes. Mazwanise is stripped, as is their new signing Jamie Knight-Labelle. He's a centre-back, Canadian centre-back. Mazwanise, we know all about him. As Motherwell looking to just bring a bit of control back into the game here. Farringer though rolling it back to his goalkeeper. Looks like Hibs have gone to a back four here with Obita at left back and Paslak now at right back, and I guess you could just call it almost a 4-4-2 with Boyle right hand side and Molotnikov left, as Longolo picks up on Motherwell's left and plays it forward to Williams. Back with Priestman on the halfway line and back into Moorman. It's a first real test of Motherwell's credentials this season, having pretty comfortably dealt with HB Torshavn. Sparrow trying to lift it over Obita for Vogt, but Obita backpedals and gets his head to it. 65 played, 1-1 it stands, and Hibs looking a far greater threat in this second period. Back with Paulson in the Motherwell goal, just at the edge of his area, plays it to his left to Moorman, who just lifts it over the head of Lowe out to the right hand side to Gerwood Reich, who just again plays it back to his goalkeeper.
Motherwell have actually forced him into a 4. They did at times pressing a 4-4-2 Hibs, because when they're on the build up, Motherwell are putting 4 into the opposition half. They then have to stay with them.
Longolo doing well over on the far side.
It's definitely not as fluid, is it, when they're watching it, when they're connecting?
No, but I think you have to acknowledge the players that they have, as you've mentioned before. The players they've lost and the players they're asking to do the same jobs, maybe not quite the same quality as the changes are made. It's Vogt coming off, and also Jake Gerwood Reich, as on come Knight-Labelle and Tawanda Mazwanise. So see if that alters the way Motherwell play. It might just be like for like swaps, really. Knight-Labelle will certainly just slot in at the back alongside Moorman. As Hibs pick up possession midway inside their own half, but across comes Farringer to take it off Boyle, and then it's into the middle of the park. It goes in a first touch for Jake Knight-Lavelle, brought in from Bristol City just yesterday. Longolo calling for it over on the far side. Is he onside? He picks up possession certainly. He's up against Paslak here. Little step over, flashes it across goal. Kerr clears from inside the 6-yard box. Priestman doesn't deal with it, and it's just knocked long by Elding. One for Lowe to chase, but can't get round Moorman, and Knight-Lavelle on the cover there, and just knocks it back to his goalkeeper. Again, Motherwell untidy in the middle of the park. Farringer's going to go into the book here for just dragging Lowe to the ground after being caught in possession. Another yellow card flashed away of a Motherwell midfielder. Priestman and Farringer now both in the referee's notebook. Free kick to Hibernian, about 10 yards or so inside the Motherwell half. To be taken by Jordan Obita. Left-footed, just slightly right of centre, lofts it into the penalty area. Up goes Kerr trying to make something of it, but Motherwell get it clear down the right-hand side. Obita will have to go and chase that. Mazwanisi's got the mask on to prevent further damage to his jaw injury. And Salinger plays it to Chaiwa. Chaiwa forward, looking for Boyle, but cut out quite comfortably by Williams, who knocks it back to Moorman. Moorman takes a poor touch, just manages to get that into Farringer midway inside his own half. 68 on the clock, one apiece it stands between Hibernian and Motherwell. Really fascinating game, this one. The first half was very tactical, very cagey. Motherwell making the breakthrough from the penalty spot just before half time, but second half's been a lot more energy about it, a lot more open. Hibernian have got themselves back level through Martin Boyle's spot kick. I think that's how things stand right now. Here's Moorman at the back for Motherwell, tries the big long diagonal. It's nodded down by Obita, but straight to Sparrow, and Molotnikov covers and knocks the ball out of play. 69 on the clock, 1-1 as Sparrow throws it into the Chester side. Back to Sparrow, midway inside the Hibs half. Back to Moorman inside his own territory. Now Priestman on the halfway line for Sparrow, outside of the right boot into Saeed. Again, good strength under pressure from Kerr. Moves away from Chaiwa also. Still Saeed, lovely footwork away from Kerr. Still he's going, finds a pass for Charles Cook inside the area. Can he turn and get the shot away? Charles Cook surrounded by Hibs players, tries to work it back to a teammate, but back comes Elding and wins it for Hibs. And now it's Paslak, slides it forward for Boyle. Hibs on the counter here, Boyle right hand side. Moorman makes a challenge and just gets something on the ball to knock it out on the far side. Well, again, it's end to end, both sides threatening to create opportunities. Now Boyle swings it in, Moorman gets his head to it, Elding brings it down on the edge of the box. Great first touch, out to Obita, left hand side. He just rolls it forward for Molotnikov, the substitute, homegrown player. Can't get beyond Mazwanisi though, who's blocked by Obita. It'll be a Motherwell free kick midway inside their own half. Well, you'd be a brave man to call a winner in this one, Scott Allen.
Yeah, you really would. The last couple of minutes here, you've seen from both sides, still having that threat on the counter-attack. First with Saeed, some magical footwork to work his way into the box, finds Charles Cook, who can't fashion a chance. He's then sloppy, and then Hibs are away. Martin Boyle trying to stretch down the left-hand side. And this time you can't really separate both sides. The momentum was with Hibs, they've kind of come off the gas a little bit.
1-1 with just under 20 to play. Motherwell have it deep in their own half. Here's Sparrow, just clips it back to his goalkeeper. And now out to Moorman. Moorman bringing it forward up towards the halfway line, looking for options. Plays it short to Williams, now Longolo. Longolo just plays it off Paslak, and out for a throw-in over on the far side. Longolo, who's come on as a substitute in the first couple of games, showing signs maybe he's just running out of legs a wee bit at this stage of the game. It's going to be another Motherwell change. We hear that Alex Lowry is going to make his debut. That might be for Longolo potentially, as Knight Labelle has it for Motherwell. Midway inside his own half, looking for someone to come and offer. Faringer does just that as usual. Sparrow now, right hand side. I'm going to go back the way though. Motherwell, Hibs cutting off the angles. Knight Labelle has it, slides it down the right hand side for Mazwanisi. Infield for Saeed. Looked for the return ball, but Mazwanisi hadn't made that run, and it's out of play for a Hibernian throw-in. 72 on the clock, and it's Hibs 1, Motherwell 1. We're going to get another change here, and it's Martin Boyle is going to be replaced by Ante Shuto, who was a threat off the bench last season, having signed in the January window. And Boyle trots off to a hero's ovation, not for the first time and surely not for the last. See the Partick Thistle management team of Mark Wilson and Alec Ray making their way to the exits. They are going to face Hibernian in the League Cup, and Miguel Chaiwa is going to be replaced also by Azim Abdullahi here in the centre of the park. So a double change for Hibernian. No sign yet of Alex Lowry coming on, but Hibs make the two changes. Interesting to see how those work for them in the closing stages here. Just over a quarter of an hour remaining as Abdullahi gets on the ball nice and early. Back to Salinger, the Hibs goalkeeper, and out to the right hand side for Paslak. Mulligan back to O'Hara, now Kerr. Kerr plays it forward to Abdullahi, not a great ball, and he can't control it, and Motherwell win it. It's Faringer for Mazwanisi. Mazwanisi trying to get away from Abdullahi, linking with Saeed on the edge of the penalty area. Saeed looking to fashion room. It's Faringer helping it on for Sparrow, right hand side, into the box it comes, poor cross, easy take for Salinger, and a let off for Hibs, who again were slack in possession at the edge of their own penalty area.
It's the straight passes I spoke about 10 minutes ago, Al. Both sides at times when they've played it and it's not a bounce pass, have been robbed of possession. See how these changes affect Hibs. Obviously Soto's got a real physical presence in there that gives him the option if he is coming in from that right hand side, that diagonal, and then maybe get players up and around it.
Motherwell have it, but Sparrow's been forced back the way by Elding. Still in play despite the howls from the Hibs fans, and then he's dragged to the ground by Elding. It's good play from Sparrow, didn't panic, just held on to possession, backed himself, and eventually he's fouled as Alex Lowry replaces Regan Charles-Cook for the closing quarter of an hour plus added on time. And former Rangers youngster, he's a player, Scott, I'm sure you'll like his technical ability. Does he fit into this Motherwell team?
Yeah, I think for any, it was always spoke about his ability on the ball when he was coming through at Rangers, and he obviously went down south to Wickham, and I don't think it worked out, so he's now back at Motherwell. If you were putting him in any team in Scotland to get the best out of him, and obviously the attributes that he does have, it would be Motherwell. But you have to remember in this Motherwell side what they do really well is the press, the real aggression off the ball, and they don't give many goals away, so you can't just get away with doing one part of the game.
Yeah, no, absolutely, that will be required of him if he's to make himself a regular, but there's no doubt about his technique as Shuto stretches to keep the ball, gets it to Abdullahi, who's taken down, and forward come Hibs. It's Molotnikov, and then foul and Elding there. It's a crude challenge, and it's Sparrow who goes into the book on that occasion. Faringer was down around that area as well. I thought just for 1 second that it might have been him that made the challenge, but no, it wasn't. It was Sparrow who joins Faringer and Priestman in the book, and it will be a free kick to Hibernian in a decent area here, left hand side. Quickly taken, Paslak into the box from Elding, is wide. It's Lowe who slid in inside the 6-yard box, a terrific ball in, and somehow Nathan Lowe manages to send it wide from point blank range, you have to say. It's a really clever free kick, quickly taken, as Motherwell really weren't paying attention, but they survived by the skin of their teeth. It remains Hibernian 1, Motherwell 1.
Exactly what you said. Alex Lowry came around the park, and I don't know if he's talking to his goalkeeper, but he needs to look at the play. They've got 2 over the ball, and as soon as he turns his back, Hibs play a quick one. Fantastic ball across from Eldon. I think Nathan Lowe's got to do better for me.
Yeah, glorious chance. A man who claims he has designs on being the Premiership's top scorer. Well, that being the case, he really needs to tuck away chances like that one from a great position. You'd have to say Hibernian potentially looking marginally more like the team that would go on and win this one, but wouldn't count Motherwell out by any means. But it's Hibernian coming forward here. We've got 77.5 on the clock. It's Abdullahi playing it square, just about 10 yards inside the Motherwell half for Kerr. Then gets it back once more, Azim Abdullahi. Now O'Hara out to the right hand side for the energetic Paslak. Abdullahi once more picking up on that right hand side. Back the way it goes for Mulligan, looking for a way through here. Out to the left he comes to Obita. Obita takes one touch and then swings in the cross. A good ball, it's just over Low and beyond Shuto. And I was going to say it'll be seen out of play there by Longolo, but he was put under such pressure by Paslak that he managed to keep it in, the Hibs fullback, and then drew the foul from Longolo, and now Hibs have a free kick just a few yards away from the corner flag over on the far side. It's brilliant work from Paslak.
He's been a great signing for Hibs. I've really liked him since he's come in. As I said, all action, very aggressive with and without the ball. It's just that willingness to go and press the ball there. Gets himself a vital free kick here in a great area for Hibs. Won't put more pressure on this Motherwell defence.
Yeah, and they've been under a fair bit of that in the second period. Not so much first half. Longolo taking a while to get back to his feet after the pressure and the challenge from Paslak. There was certainly no suggestion of a foul. He just won it cleanly. And now Hibs have the opportunity from the free kick, right hand side. Obita's gone across to whip it in left-footed. It'll be the in-swinger, you imagine, from the Hibs defender. Although Mulligan's lurking at the edge of the box, he might fancy a little cut back here. But it's Obita who swings it right on top of the keeper, and it's too easy for the New Zealander to claim that. No pressure on him, too close to him from the free kick. Obita's quality is better than that. Saeed again showing a brilliant little feint away from Molotnikov, and now it's out to the right hand side. Sparrow just looked like he'd run out of energy there. The ball to him was, it's a couple of yards in front of him, but you felt that Sparrow would collect it, but just couldn't stretch to keep it in, and it's out for a throw in to Hibernian deep in their own half after terrific play once again from Saeed. He's got such quality at times.
I think you're being too nice to Saeed there. I thought it was it was a very loose pass, to be honest. That outside of the boot one, just a bit lazy with it after doing all the hard bit. Just take care. Just put it in front of Sparrow at a pace where he can step on. It's just too far out of his reach as Southall gets on the ball.
Yeah, here he comes, Australian into Elding, spins back in field. Now it's Mulligan, takes a touch, then gets the shot off, but maybe he should have just taken that on earlier because it's blocked behind. Maybe just one touch and shoot rather than the two, but it's blocked behind by Williams, and Hibs have the corner. Now Longolo's gone down. I think he's going to need either treatment or to be taken off. The home fans not happy that he has gone down, but Motherwell seem to be feeling the pace more than Hibs right now. We've got just under 10 to play of the 90, and it's still Hibernian 1, Motherwell 1.
Hibs really pushing here. When you see a winner, most likely looks like it's going to come from a Hibernian player.
Well, Longolo is getting back to his feet, but the changes are going to be made by the visiting side. A couple of changes actually. Ollie White and Ewan Wilson coming on. Longolo certainly going off as Wilson comes on. And Reisman's the man who's going to be replaced by Ollie White in the middle of the park. Terrific season in League One with Stennismuir last season. This is a major step up for the young man, as when he comes to make his first Premiership appearance for Well, and his first job here is to get back into that penalty area and try and help his side defend this corner as Hibs push for a winner. It's Paslak right hand side to take the corner, right footed. What can Hibs produce here? Plenty of big players in the box, but Sparrow meets it first. It wasn't a good delivery. Elding though gets it back to Obita. Then Obita sends it to his right hand side for Molotnikov. Molotnikov back into the area. Looks like that's too close to Poulsen as well. He hasn't gathered though. Low with the shot. Saved in the line again by Moorman. Mulligan picks up. Out to his right hand side to Paslak. Back into the middle it comes. Motherwell scrambling to get it clear. Moorman once again. Only as far as Elding. That's blocked by Saeed. Hibs relentless just at the moment. And Moorman again bailing his side out. I thought Poulsen might well have got the free kick for the challenge made by Lowe, but unusually the keeper didn't get the benefit of the doubt. And Lowe's effort would have counted by the looks of it. Eventually Hibs make the foul, and then Motherwell get the free kick midway inside their own half, and a bit of respite again, because they are toiling right now.
They really are. Two of them challenging for the same ball. Just felt Eldon again trying to get that shot and goal, but what they have done, as much as they're all over the place, they're managing to get foots and elbows and everything in the way of the ball and getting up against Hibs players. So it's not as if they have a clear sight of goal for the Hibs players. They're managing to still get their bodies in front, but you do feel like a goal's coming for Hibs.
Obita, a little 1-2 played by Molotnikov, but a bit like Saeed a moment before him, the return pass wasn't good enough, and then Obita penalised for knocking Mazonisi to the ground. Mazonisi and the Hibs fans and Obita's view going down too easily, but Stephen McLean felt it was a foul, as Motherwell take the free kick and play it down the right hand side, but it's picked up by Obita into Abdullahi. We've got 6 and a bit minutes to play as Abdullahi plays that just behind O'Hara, and that just allows Motherwell to push up a little bit. Paslak is going to go back again to O'Hara, plays it square for Kerr, just outside his own penalty area. 1-1 here between last season's 5th and 4th place sides. Very little to choose between them this afternoon. Both have had their spells of dominance, but it's Hibs right now who look the more likely to go and take the 3 points. As Kerr gets out to the left hand side to Obita, back into Molotnikov just inside the Motherwell half. Good strength by White though to win it from him. Here's Lowry, plays it into the feet of Saeed, slips it back into Lowry, passes on here, it's Williams coming forward, and now Saeed, big chance to win it for Motherwell. It's in! What a goal that is from Motherwell! Ibrahim Saeed, just as we said, Hibs looked the more likely to win it. Motherwell might have snatched it with 5 to play. It's yet another wonderful team goal. Alec Lowry hugely involved in the build-up, but Ibrahim Saeed gets on the score sheet for the first time this season with a goal of real quality. It's Hibernian 1, Motherwell 2.
Best bit of football in that second half. An incredible goal from a Motherwell perspective. The give and go between Saeed and Lowry. I think 25. Oliver White as well coming on the pitch. Great strength, releases the pass. It's a great way to pass from Lowry, and then to have that composure to just lift her head and square it across the side. He makes no mistake, and all the momentum was with Hibs. We felt the goal was going to come from a Hibernian persuasion. Caught the ball in the middle of the park, and Motherwell have punished it. A fantastic, well worked goal from Motherwell.
Oh, it's quite brilliant. You've got to watch that on Sports Scene tonight. Just the intricacy of the passing between Saeed and Lowry in particular. That is a joy to watch if you're a Motherwell fan. If you're a football fan, pretty much anyone other than a Hibernian fan will enjoy that one. And Saeed, who, as I mentioned, having done both the Motherwell European games, he's had a few chances that he should have tucked away. You just wondered, would he have the composure to slot that one beyond Raphael Salinger? Well, he's come up with the answer, and it was a resounding yes as he puts his side in front once more. And now Hibernian have got to try and find another equaliser from somewhere in these closing stages. 3.5 of the 90 left, but here's Mulligan inside the box. Again, it's another brilliant block, this time from Sparrow. The Scots Jazz have been putting their bodies on the line, Motherwell, in this second half, and they've had to. Here's Obita once more, back to Kerr, just outside the Motherwell box, rolls it into Mulligan, but he's dispossessed.
Good passes.
Farringer has taken it off him and leads the Motherwell charge. 3-on-3 just at the moment. Motherwell don't need to force this though. Farringer just keeping the ball under pressure from Paslak, and he's knocked it out off Farringer in the end, and it will be a Hibernian throw in deep in their own half, quickly taken for Abdullahi. David Gray will wonder what has happened, having got the upper hand in the game in terms of momentum. His side find themselves a goal down once again. It's a Hibernian throw-in on the halfway line, left hand side. 2.5 to play plus added on time. Motherwell looking for back-to-back victories at Easter Road for the first time since August 2013, and the second of those was also on the opening day of the season, but they might not have it yet, because here's Obita at the edge of the box finding Molotnikov, tries to curl it to the back post, but again it's blocked. Paslak's in there, but it's stumped away by Ewan Wilson, out of play over on the far side. Hibernian throw-in midway inside the Motherwell half, into Mulligan it goes. Will Motherwell hold on? Can Hibs find the leveller that they desire? They will feel it's the least they deserve from the game. As Obita, left hand side, swings it in deep once more. It's beyond everyone, and then Mazwanisi just helps it on over on the far side. It's another throw-in, quickly taken. The recommendation is that there'll be 4 minutes added on at the end here. We've got 90 seconds of the 90 minutes to play before that, as Kerr has it for Abdullahi. Everyone forward for Hibs, everyone back for Motherwell as they look to secure the 3 points. And it comes to their box, so Shooter with a good touch, saved by Paulson as Shooter gets the shot away. Good reaction from the Kiwi, and it's behind for a Hibs corner.
He's done really well there, just to fashion the chance, takes it in the chest really well, just tries a snapshot, and it's met by Paulson. Again, another set piece to defend for Motherwell. It's been a really good second half, hasn't it?
Very good, very good. But Hibs won't feel that way if they can't find an equaliser, which they're trying to do here in the final minute as Obita swings in the corner from the right hand side. It's a Motherwell head that gets to it first. It come out to the near side. Elding's kept it in. Moorman's slowly picking himself up. He's been a rock at the heart of the defence, you'd have to say, as Lowry chases one. It'll come for Hibs instead, and Abdullahi has it midway inside the Motherwell half. He's put way too much on that. That's really dreadful from Abdullahi at this time of the game. His side needed a quality delivery, instead he's knocked it all the way behind for a goal kick. And edging towards the end of the 90, it remains Hibernian 1, Motherwell 2.
They've put pressure on the Motherwell goal, but it's still that bit of finesse, that bit of invention around the edge of the box. It's all been shifting, trying to shoot through bodies. There has to be more patience around the edge of the box for me, from a Hibs point of view. And that just, the biggest frustration as a manager. Chance to put a decent ball in the box and it goes out for a goal kick. But they'll get another chance.
Yeah, 4 minutes to play. We've added on time. Lowe claims for a handball there, nothing given, and Mazwanisi will pick up and drive Motherwell over the halfway line. He's more or less on his own, but he'll try and take on O'Hara. Down he goes, and the referee says, yeah, that's a free kick to Motherwell, and they have Hibernian exactly where they want them. Well into the Hibs half.
I spoke about your goalkeeper coming, taking balls from corners, relieving pressure. That's just as good. Someone who can travel with the ball. Mazwanisi, we know he has that pace. Just at this moment in the game, a very welcomed free kick for Motherwell.
Yep, about 25 yards from goal, just a little bit more than that maybe. It's taken out to the left hand side. Motherwell in no hurry, out to Saeed, who we know can hold on to possession, trying to get the better of Paslak, but it's come off Saeed last, and it'll be a Hibernian throw-in. We've got 3 minutes left of added on time for Hibernian to find a leveller here. Otherwise, they are going to start the season in losing fashion. Here they come though. Hibs have won in 7 of the last 9 Premiership opening days, including last season against Dundee. But they trail here by 2-1 as Abdullahi has it, middle of the park. He's got better quality that time, out to Paslak, right hand side, takes a touch, then swings it in, it's a good ball. Who's it going to fall for? It won't fall for Mulligan. Comes back to Abdullahi, tries to curl it, blocked at the edge of the box, claims for handball but nothing doing. Here's Molotnikov left hand side, dinks it to the back post, up goes the header but it's over from Elding. Couldn't keep the header down. It's a half a chance, but Hibs can't find that equaliser they crave, and it remains Hibernian 1, Motherwell 2 with 2 to play.
Motherwell defended really well again. Yes, it's at times they've been disorganised, but what they've always managed to do is get someone in to not make Hibs get a clear sight of goal. They make contact, can't get a clean header. All the ugly side of the game, which they've done really well at times. Take away the penalty they concede. For a team who's lost their best players, one of the best managers the country's seen in all my time, it'll be a great result for Motherwell if they can get the 3 points today.
If they can, because here come Hibs once more, but Mulligan can't get beyond Farringer, who picks up possession and drives his team up the park. And here he is, tossing the halfway line out to the right hand side for Saeed. Does he go for the corner, or do Motherwell go for a killer third goal? It's into Lowry inside the box, he's gone for goal straight at Salinger and knocked away by O'Hara. Out for a throw and over on the far side. Well, the Motherwell fans are loving what they're seeing from their side. They might have wanted Saeed to go for the corner, but it seems this Motherwell side know nothing other than to just go for goal, regardless of the scenario they find themselves in. But we're in the last minute here, and they've got the throw-in over on the far side, well inside Hibs territory, and they bought another throw-in over on that flank. It's Williams playing it off Paslak, and it's almost time up for Hibs. You hear the Motherwell fans standing and singing their team's name, and rightly so, as Lowry picks up possession over on the left hand side, manages to work it back to Saeed in a tight area. He's strongly challenged by Paslak, and then he's knocked to the ground by Abdullahi. The referee had a look at that. Saeed will pick himself up. Not sure how much was in that, but we're almost at full time. 94th minute has come and gone. There's a full-time whistle, and boos ring round Easter Road once again. Well, it looked like their side had got themselves back into it and earned themselves at least a point. They were the ones pushing harder for the winner, but Motherwell sucker punched them with a goal of outstanding quality with 5 to play, as Ibrahim Saeed rounded off a terrific move, and that was the winner for Motherwell. Hibs had a number of chances second half. The second half was so much more incident-packed than the first, which really only had Lucas Farringer's penalty to show for it. Motherwell with that 1-goal advantage at the interval into the second period. Charles Cook should have probably put Motherwell 2 up before Hibs had a raft of opportunities. Good saves from Poulsen to deny Lowe before Boyle was fouled by Priestman inside the area. He picked himself up and rolled the penalty into the bottom corner to make it 1 each. Elding was denied with a great save by Poulsen, and then Moorman had to save on a line from Elding shortly afterwards. Lowe not wide from a great position, and then another effort, this time from Lowe, saved on the line by Moorman, who had a terrific game at the heart of the Motherwell defence. Then came that counter from Motherwell to put the game beyond Hibernian, as it turned out. Ibrahim Saeed with a terrific first goal of the season, and just as Hibs were pushing for a leveller, Shuto had a shot saved by Poulsen. They couldn't muster an equalising goal, and that is why the team was booed off at full time. But not the Motherwell side. They go across their right hand side to be greeted by the travelling support. A couple of thousand of them have enjoyed their afternoon's work, as Motherwell ended last season with a victory here at Easter Road, and they have begun this season in exactly the same way in the Premiership. It finishes at Easter Road. Hibernian 1, Motherwell 2.
the Scottish Premiership.
Live on Sports Sound.
Scottish football lives here.
On BBC Radio Scotland.
Hey toaster, play BBC Radio Scotland.
Stop asking your toaster to play BBC Radio Scotland. You need something way more intelligent. Like me.
Every Monday, you could win a smart speaker to make listening to BBC Radio Scotland even easier. The phone lines will open when you hear the smart speaker say,
"Win a smart speaker" on BBC Radio Scotland.
Tune in to Mornings on Radio Scotland every Monday from 10 to find out more.
Win me and I'll play BBC Radio Scotland. And I'll never burn your toast.
You're listening to Sunday Sports Sound with me, Richard Gordon, and we've just watched another incredible match at Easter Road between Hibernian and Motherwell. The home side pretty much utterly dominant throughout the whole of the second 45 minutes, but Motherwell doing what Motherwell do so well in terms of the quick counter-attack, the interchange, the passing, and the composed finish by Ibrahim Said, and that's why he is currently celebrating in the capital, down in front of the Motherwell fans. So we'll be heading back across to Lanarkshire, absolutely delighted with 3 points on the first day of their Premiership campaign. Callum Davidson has been with us throughout. A very, very different second half, you've got to say, to the first 45, Callum.
Yeah, definitely. I thought it was a really good second half. I thought Hibs actually were the better team second half. I thought they're the one, once they got their goal, I thought they tried to go again and trying to score, and then obviously Motherwell come up. We know Motherwell are really good in the counter-attack. I think Said's going to be a fantastic player to watch this season. Very, very difficult to get off the ball. He's exciting, he can go past players. Hibs will be so disappointed how they lose the second goal. If you're a wide player coming in off the line into those pockets, you got to hold on to the ball. You can't lose the ball in that area when the bodies are past them, and it's cost Hibs dearly today, because again, overall probably Hibs were the better team, but Motherwell take their chances, and then I think Scott and Ali were talking about it, they defended really well, put bodies on the line. It wasn't a fluid performance from Motherwell, but what it was, a really gritty determination, and they think they got the result because of that, and then their work rate endeavour, and then obviously the last goal. You can look at two sides I've talked about earlier. The Hibs have obviously given me really poor possession in the middle of the pitch, but again, the little interchange between Said and Lowry, and then obviously clinical in the end, and that was the difference between the two teams today.
Yeah, incredible, isn't it? And we were talking earlier about Sim Valakari and how he'd be feeling at the point where Kilmarnock had mugged them and gone in front in that one. David Gray's going to feel something similar, isn't he? There were a couple of decent saves by the keeper. Moorman, I think, 2 off the line. There were chances. There were big chances for Hibernian to put that game to bed, weren't there?
Yeah, definitely. That's the thing that'll disappoint him most. He got a reaction in the second half from his players. Again, they weren't bad in the first half, but they weren't good enough for the home team. He got a reaction. They had their chances. I think the one that I can't remember, it got fizzed across the face of the goal, and the striker.
It was Elding across for Lowe, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, I think you can do better there. They've had a couple cleared off the line as well. If you look at the overall game, again, you look at the stats, the picture, it'd probably say Hibs were the better team. But again, this is football. This is why we like football. This is why we enjoy football. Not always the team who play the best win. And there's other aspects of the game than obviously just playing this type of football. And it's Motherwell who got all the praise last year for the way they played. I thought they had a great structure, a great determination about them. They do look really threatening on the counter attack. They've got players in there that can attack quickly. And it was what you call a classic away performance. Not smash and grab, I wouldn't say that, but I thought they played really well, defended their box, and then when they had a chance to go and score, they did it, and they got the winner probably at the right time, and didn't allow Hibs to get back into the game.
It's been a hell of a roller coaster, hasn't it, for those Hibs fans at the start of this fledgling new season. I saw some of the videos from the away end, if you like, when they lost 2-0 to Malasheva. They were scathing in their assessment of the team. Then they've got the absolute high of banging in 4 goals on Thursday night and go through to the next round in European competition. And then they've just been hit with this. And I guess, that's why we heard the booing that we heard at full time. It seems crazy on the first day of the Premiership season, but there were clear boos ringing out around the stadium.
Yeah, I don't quite understand it, but that's just myself. I actually thought Hibs put everything into the game. They tried their hardest as well. Probably what they do lack in their team is somebody who can open up. So we look at Said in the team for Motherwell. He can go past players. He can make things happen. It's probably the one thing Hibs lack at the moment within their squad, is a player who can drop the shoulder and go past somebody and create opportunities out of nothing. They work really hard as a team. They're very well organised. They're very structured. They create chances, but it's just that little spark. So again, it's a real tough one to take for Hibs and David. But I thought I thought looking at both teams today, after watching obviously the first 5 games, I think the two of them will definitely finish top half of the table.
Yeah, I mean, there was Scott Allen, there was an awful lot to enjoy about the game. Generally, it's difficult for Hibs to feel that way when they've come out with absolutely nothing, I guess. Yeah,
it was a fascinating contest. I thought the second half, Hibs obviously put a lot more pressure on Motherwell, especially on their build up, and they actually got a bit of joy. It allowed them to get higher into better positions. Still for me, I think they can be more thoughtful when they're round the box. What you usually see is it works its way wide and they help it into they help it to make Motherwell go and defend and then hope that it lands to someone. So it's trying to convert the pressure that you actually have into real goal scoring chances consistently, which is the question mark over this Hibs team. They are quite predictable at times when they're going to create, which over the course of 2 seasons has worked for them. They're a really athletic team in what they have in their side, but I still think they can do more to get guys like Eldon and Boyle in areas where they can really go and hurt you. That being said, I felt they were probably harsh to not get something from the game, whether it was a point or not. But you got to tip your hat to that goal from Motherwell. It was real invention, giving goes, great way to pass from Lowry, and then I think it's Dylan Williams who just has that presence of mind to find Said in the box, and he calmly slots away.
Scott, would you be annoyed? Would you be annoyed if you'd come in the pitch there and lost the ball in that area when the Hibs have got boys beyond them? You know, that's when he's got to bounce the pass back out to get out. He's tried to take a touch, and it's great pressure for Motherwell. But as a Hibs player, you'd be annoyed if you lost the ball in that area, wouldn't you?
Yeah. I think 15 yards forward, you always have the men behind the ball to then recover it. That would be that's getting caught in the ball. Caught in the ball, no matter what age you are, is never a good thing. But what I would say on Motherwell, if you look at Motherwell, that first 5 minutes of the second half, if Charles Regan Cook puts that away, it's a very different second half. But what they did do, Hibs, they got back into the game for a mistake from Motherwell. Martin Boyle, again, just as I said, they were more aggressive with their press, and it then forces the penalty, and he dispatches it. After that, you had the stadium behind them. They put balls in the box, but there was no real openings. Out with the one, I think Lowry switches off from the short free kick and it's flashed across. I think Nathan Lowe should do better. I think he should make the goalkeeper make a save. But like I said, at times Motherwell were a lot more disjointed in that second half when the balls are coming in, and naturally happens because you're getting a head on it, it's bouncing, you then need to go out and put blocks on it. But they've done that really well, that ugly side of the game, and you've got to give huge credit coming here. They're a team who are in transition because they've got a new manager and they've lost their best players. They're then coming in trying to keep things the same, and you did see parts of it. I didn't think they were anywhere near as fluid as what we've seen in from last season, which you can understand obviously with the new manager coming in. But they managed to find a way. A very difficult place to Hibs don't lose here often.
Oh, well, you say that, but it's 4 straight league defeats at home now.
But over the course of a season, though, Hibs don't usually lose here a lot of the time.
Usually.
So it's for a team who's got a lot of continuity, and David Gray and his coaching staff and a lot of players who are in that building. This Motherwell team came here and they were under pressure. They made a lot of changes. Guys who probably haven't had much training with the squad over the course of a week, and they've managed to come here and get 3 points, and they'll look forward to Thursday in Helsinki, a huge game for the club. But
actually, I mean, it's massive for Motherwell, isn't it? Because there was a lot of uncertainty with you think of how well Jens Bertolascu had done, and he goes, and 1 or 2 of the key players from last season are gone as well. Maspanise is not fit, or not fully fit. There were a lot of questions there, and it's an absolutely brilliant start, both in Europe and in the Premiership for Alfred Johansson.
It really is, and see, for me, and nobody spoke about it as much because how good a football they were playing last year, but they don't give a lot of chances away, and it was similar today. They were disappointed in the penalty, obviously their own individual error, but they defended really well. And if you look at chances that Hibs create centrally, and I don't know if that was good defending from Motherwell because they've got lots of bodies centrally to defend, or the fact was, as Callum says there, they just don't quite have that real invention, someone who's going to unlock the door, drop the shoulder, find a wee slip pass and put a Boy or a Nathan Lowe in goal. Most of their creative play comes from being down the sides and just putting balls in the box and hopefully it falls to someone.
Yeah, going to be interesting, isn't it, to see just how Motherwell develop under Johansson, Callum, and how they move on, and indeed whether they can make anything like the same kind of impact overall that they did last season.
Yeah, definitely. I think it took, obviously last year it took them a wee while. I think they had quite a lot of draws at the start of the season.
Yeah.
I think it wasn't until later on they started to get the wins and they started to get that sort of connection with the players. So I think probably, they probably had a better start this season, obviously winning this game. A really difficult place to come and get 3 points. Obviously if Mashwanisi, he stays, it's Saeed. They've still got in Charles Cook. They've got guys who can open up the game as well. So I quite like the two centre halves that played. Looked like two ball playing centre halves, I think, which is what they need with the way they're going to play. So I think they'll have a good season this season. I think that it won't change too much. I think they'll probably get better in attacking threat. They weren't quite as good as we've seen towards the end of sort of the second half of the season, but it's going to take a little bit of time. Now he needs to, if he gets results like he did today, it's going to make his job a lot easier.
Well, that's for sure, and it's important as a new manager coming to a new country and a football environment that you don't have experience in. Scott, if you can get the kind of start that he's had, it helps him hugely, but it also helps the players just buy into the new manager and what he's trying to achieve.
Yeah, I think when you're on the training ground and you're giving players ideas, and I know he said he's kept a lot of it the same, but there's still, I felt there was a huge pressure coming in off the back of Jens Bertalascu because how highly rated he was in this country throughout the media, and anyone you spoke to, especially Andy Hardy, who just raved about him, how he was calling him a genius most of the season, and some of the things that we did see. But for me, the domination against Celtic at Fir Park last year, I've always felt that is going to be really hard to replicate. So when you then come in here, you look at the two results in Europe, clean sheet, some really good ways of build-up play that then led to goals, and then you look at the two bits of creativity today. The first one that leads to the penalty, great bit of interplay, and then the second goal, it's a fantastic big goal of the weekend for me. It was brilliant, and that just gives you that confidence, and it gives you the back, and you could hear the Motherwell fans at the end. They got real belief in Alfred, and they'll be looking to Thursday feeling they can go in there and win the game.
Just watching Sky are interviewing Priestman and Ibrahim Saeed, who of course got the winner. They're going to have to scrape that smile off his face. He's absolutely buzzing. And it's we talked about the manager, but actually from a player's point of view, Callum, you clearly want to get off to a positive start in any season and try to ensure that you're getting on the pitches as often as you can, and to do so, to score the winner late on, to take the 3 points in a game like this doesn't do you put you in a good position? Yeah,
definitely. I think obviously last season I don't think he played sort of as much. I think he sort of more played towards the end of the season. It's a big start from this season. Obviously they had the European games, which we probably expected them to win comfortably, which they did, and then to come here, listen, he's great to watch, isn't he? He's one of those players. He bounces off people, he puts it through their legs, he'll chop them. Like his link play for the.
You'd have kicked him, Cal.
I'd have kicked him, but probably would have just bounced and got up and gone with. So I think it's probably goal. Their second goal summed up his link play there, which probably last season wasn't there. So he's getting better all the time, and then his composed finish at the end. That's probably things he was missing last season from his game. Now, if he keeps adding that and keeps doing that, the manager has to play him, and then he becomes a star. And then Motherwell are going, well, we're not really missing the players we've lost, because he's the one stepping up. He's the one saying, listen, I'm going to play. I'm going to make sure we have another good season. It's going to be tough, but again, these guys as players, it's always hard to start the season because you always want to get that first point or the first 3 points on the board, get your season off and running. It's hard when you lose the first game because then the pressure then goes to the second game. So I think sometimes it's always, there's a lot of draws. Well, there normally is a lot of draws in the first game of the season because teams are sometimes quite happy with the point, and that's them gone, that's them off and running. So Motherwell will be delighted, and the players will be delighted. You can see them at the end there. They were chuffed to bits getting the 3 points at Easter Road.
Yeah, I mean, even on day one, that just the value of getting victories, of getting the 3 points, of starting to get a bit of momentum. They've certainly got that, Callum. Back-to-back wins against HB, now the victory against Hibernian at the start of this season, replicating how they finished last season, and now they're off to Helsinki for this Conference League tie.
Yeah, very winnable tie as well. I think we do talk about obviously the team that played first, HB. I think that was a definite. They should win that. That'd be, we'd be really disappointed if they lost the game. So again, but it's just wins. Wins help you build the confidence. They looked a wee bit tired. So I thought they looked a wee bit jaded second half. Obviously that's hard when you're playing in Europe. You're going Sunday, Thursday when players are not used to it. If you are used to it, it's okay. Again, it'll be squad rotation. Do they have a strong enough squad? If they do well in Europe, these are all things, these are all challenges that are going to come their way, but they'd much rather be winning the games than get knocked out of cups and struggling in leagues. So I think they'd much rather take a game against Helsinki on Thursday and go and try and win the game, which I believe is winnable for them. And hopefully for Scottish football they can get through.
We talked earlier, Scott, Callum and I, about the importance of St Johnstone, about how the players came on and made a difference and made an impact. And actually you've got to say there were late substitutions for Motherwell, but Lowry and Wilson both coming on, both playing a part in that, what turned out to be the winning goal.
Yeah, and I think as well, Oliver White as well, been really strong in the middle of the park and winning the ball. I'm sure it was White, wasn't it? Won the ball.
Sorry, it was White. It was White, not Wilson. Yeah,
coming on, showing his strength, and then just releasing the ball at the right time. And Lowry, listen, nobody's ever doubted that Alex Lowry's a really technically good footballer. It was all the other things that go with it. But what he has got, he's got vision and he's got real technique about him. You see the decision making on the ball, give and go, a lovely way to pass on his left foot to release Dylan Williams. And he has a real say in the opening day of the season, coming to a new club, and it just gives you that belief and that confidence that you can come in and affect games. The next chance for him is getting in that starting 11. But Motherwell, listen, it was a fantastic goal. It was a goal worthy to win any game.
It's funny, Scott, because you actually could be talking about it another way. He switches off for the free kick, and they score, and then they're going, well, why should we play him? If he switches off, he's just cost us 3 points. But actually now we're talking about him. That little bit of luck, isn't it? It's weird.
Yeah,
football's with timings. Yeah. And a little bit of luck, he got that little bit of luck, but he does have quality. You love to see somebody like him perform week in, week out for Motherwell. Then he starts to push higher up and higher level because he has the vision. It's the players of Scotland we need. We need these type of players.
And he's in a structure that should get the best out of him if he's willing to do the things out of possession, which all the Motherwell players done last year. Your Elliot Watts, all the guys, your Slattery's, who all went onto a higher level. They all done that as much as they were really good on the ball. They all done the other side of the game.
I totally agree with that. I think it's one of those things you don't look at Motherwell. You look at certain teams that play away. It's always about this. They play nice football, but they don't. They work really hard. Falkirk were the same last season. They work so hard off the ball so they limit their chances. They work hard on the ball as well. They don't just stand and wait for the move, and they're always on the move. And it's that sort of work ethic that takes you to the top level.
What do you think, Cal, looking at Hibs, creative wise? Because I've obviously seen a lot of them, and I always feel when they're going to create or they're chasing a game, it's very predictable how they're going to try and find their way back into the game. How did you see them?
Yeah, listen, I thought they were actually quite good. Now, I've watched them a lot, and I think they create chances. I just think when I look at their squad, they've got good physicality, they've got good strength, they've got a wee bit of strikers are good as well. For me, it's just that wide area, coming on. Can somebody go past? I think when teams sit in a low block, isn't it? It's really difficult to open up space. And now it helps when you've got a player that can go past people. And if you're looking at the squad, and I'm sure they are, they're probably thinking, right, again, who can excite? We talk about Saeed for Motherwell. Motherwell probably needs somebody like that can go past somebody, when games are tight. Because I think they have a really good squad. Maybe could one or two more additions to it, as all managers would. I think they'll finish in the top 6 easy this season. Again, it's pressure from the support. That's another thing that's going to have to.
They will finish top 6. I think them and Motherwell will finish top 6. The only problem is that they have to have a good cup run.
Yeah, that's it. That's what they probably want, isn't it? It's probably they've looked at the last 2 seasons. I think they've been brilliant in the last 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Last year in Europe, they're so unlucky. Some of the games I went to watch, they played brilliantly against some of the teams, and it's just try to just convert that and get over the line. I think if they can get somebody who could go past, and like Boyle maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I'm not saying he's still a fantastic player.
A couple of times he did show the fullback a kind of clean pair of heels.
No, he does. Yeah,
he's still got it.
There just can't be an over-reliance on him, though. There has to be someone who can come in.
Yeah.
And someone young, hungry, and want to go and make a name for himself and really take that back and being the creative player for him. Yes, we know that Jamie McGrath's missing.
Yeah, he's a big miss, isn't he? He's a big miss.
But he's been a miss for a lot of games, and you just wonder if that's a position of the part of a certain profile of player that Hibs are looking to get in. We know there's still a lot of time left in the transfer window, but big games are coming thick and fast for Hibs just now.
Yeah, definitely agree with you. I think they'll know that. They'll know that. Sometimes it's not as easy. I've been in a position myself where I'm looking for players, and it's not as easy to find them. So again, I'm sure they will be doing their homework and figuring out what they need.
Right, I'm sure we'll just head down. Yeah, no worries, Scott. We'll head down pitch side to Brian. He's just been joined by the Motherwell manager, Alfred Johansson.
Alfred, many congratulations. What was your take on the game? What an introduction to domestic football here in Scotland for you.
Yeah, that was brilliant. Nice, so nice to experience it in my own body today. I think that was a game with ups and downs for both teams, and obviously really pleased with us coming out with the 3 points.
What was pleasing you most, particularly in the first half?
Well, in the first half, I think we show good stuff on the ball, some good pressing actions as well. It's not perfect, but we show many good things. And but more than tactics today, I think we have to praise the spirit of the team, because at times today we really have to ride out storms. We have Martin Moorman throwing himself to make blocks. We have front trio defend really deep at the end to help the team. We have keeper that does exceptional saves, and that's needed if you want to do well. If you want to do well, you have to do that, and we do that with 8 players making their debut in the Premiership today. So to show that kind of commitment and team spirit this early, all the credits to the players, and it shows that we've got the right characters in the door.
I have to ask you about your winning goal. It was a work of art, really, wasn't it?
To be honest, I don't remember all the details of it.
Some terrific one-touch football there from your team.
Yeah, I remember some parts of the build-up and then Ibi's finish. So you're telling me I'm going to enjoy watching it on video, I suppose.
I think you're going to enjoy watching your team play if they play like that, are they not?
Yeah, I mean, once again, when we hit it off today the way that we want to, then it's similar to the last 2 games against HB, that the good periods, they look really good, and we want them to be even better, and we want them to be even longer, and that's going to come. I mean, I just said 8 guys making their debut today in the Premiership, so yeah, as soon as we can continue to work, I'm sure that those periods will be even longer, but even months from now, when we are even better, you're going to have to suffer. And I think the guys showed today that they're ready to do that.
What, if anything, surprised you about Scottish football this afternoon, your first domestic game?
Well, you hear about the intensity, you hear about how the crowd is in the games, even though I think at times today it was more quiet than I would have expected here. But I think that it's the speed of everything and the intensity of everything. When the rhythm goes up in the game, then it's a massive energy in the stadiums. And that was even if I heard about it, it was nice to experience it.
You now have to turn your attention back to Europe. Helsinki, who I think they've came through their tie. I think it was 8-0 in aggregate. So how big a step up will that be from your last European game and possibly even today?
Obviously that's a step up from HB, but to be completely honest with you, I'm not going to think about that tonight. I'm going to think about that at some point tomorrow. When my baby go to sleep, then I will start to think about that.
I think you'll enjoy your sleep as well. Well done today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Alfred Johansson, actually really good to listen into him there, Scott. And he's quite well aware. He said, when we had the good periods, we looked good. But he's very, very aware that there is still an awful lot of work to be done, he feels.
Yeah, and when he mentions how many players are making their debut today, it just goes to show you the quality of player that Motherwell have lost this year. And then you add in, obviously, Paul McGinn, Stephen O'Donnell, two the elder statesmen of the squad for leadership, all the things, and their performances first and foremost last year. So they're massive losses as well, just for the squad on a match day. And it show the bravery to play out as they did today, and it wasn't perfect at times, there's no getting away from that. But the 2 moments of real quality in the game for me was the one that led the moment that led to the penalty, and then the second goal was goal of the weekend. You'll do well to see a better goal than that all season as a team goal. Give and go, lovely slip pass, I love it.
He couldn't actually remember all the details of it in the midst of all the excitement. Normally managers are very, very good at just drawing back and remembering exactly what's happened.
Selective.
Right, okay.
Selective. You know, sometimes you're that engrossed in the game, you kind of you're kind of watching something else, because you're not always watching where the ball is. You're always watching where the defenders are, or who's standing where, or what's happening. So sometimes you miss little things. You know, so you know what I really liked about it? He talked about without the ball. You know, and that's a big thing. You know, he was quite honest there. He thought, and we both talked about it. I mean, Scott, how hard they worked without the ball and what they did. You know, and he was first to acknowledge that. Yeah, he knows his team can play better, and we can all say that. Hibs are obviously the better team that way, but he acknowledged how to win games as well, which was really refreshing to hear.
I mean, he also highlighted the work of the back line, and actually when you think, you know, Scott mentioned this earlier, Callum, there were a lot of clean sheets for Motherwell. They had that record-breaking run at one stage last season, but Paulson in goal, Moorman in particular at centre half really caught the eye, didn't they?
Yeah, good signings, look really strong signings. They look like good defenders, look like they know their job. You know, today they want to defend, which is a thing. Sometimes young defenders want to get on the ball and look good. You know, defenders need to be able to defend first and foremost. You know, but I think they are quite good in the ball. But what I've seen them today, I can't obviously talk too much, but they will suit that style of play that he's trying to implement. So again, it's really important. They've obviously used their scouting system, their network, their data, whatever they use to try and fill positions that they're missing. You know, and try and replicate very similar or and try and improve them. So yeah, good signings. The goalie, he looks really good. He looks really assured. You know, you watch him for crosses. He takes a couple of steps out. I was watching him as they're crossing the ball. He's taken a couple of steps out already to try and then intercept and take the pressure off his back four, which is brilliant as a defender when your goalie does that.
Yeah, and it makes sense actually from that point of view, Scott, because what that does, it gives you the opportunity. If you think, yeah, I'm going to get this, you keep going, and if you don't, you've just bought yourself a little bit of time, and you take a couple of steps back, and you're in position.
Yeah, what he'd done well, the goalkeeper, was he actually allowed Motherwell to spring on the counter attack. I think that's a massive part of what they look for in their goalkeepers, and we're touching on the defenders there and guys coming in making their debut. I think what allows them to look very competent on the ball, the structure allows them that, because the decision is made for them. This is how we play it, this is how we build out. And I just feel when you have coaches who have that implemented early on in pre-season, when guys are coming into the club, new signings, coming to a difficult away venue, when the decision's taken out of your hand, you have to think, will I go there, will I try and chop back, will I go back to the goalkeeper? The decision's already made for you because you've worked on it all week and you've analysed how you're going to play through the press. What I would say is, though, Hibs were a lot more aggressive in the second half, and it did force them into some mistakes at times. But you look at how they recovered.
We can get some further reaction from Motherwell. Lucas Fadinger is now with Brian.
Yeah, Lucas, many congratulations. What a way to kick off a domestic season. How did you feel?
Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm tired right now, but yeah, I'm very pleased with our performance. I mean, it was a tough game. When you come here to Easter Road, it's always hard. Physically, it's so good, but I think, yeah, we fought really hard, and in the end, we got the lucky punch.
Hibs had a lot of the ball late on. You had to defend really strongly. Was there always a belief, though, that you could strike on the break? And what a finishing goal, what a second goal it was.
Yeah, I think the second goal was amazing. I mean, there's always the belief, because I know how we performed last year. And yeah, I mean, we had so many changes. A lot of key players left us, new players came in. So yeah, I think all in all, we are really pleased with the performance, and I'm really proud of the whole team.
Just on the changes, how difficult is it when a new manager comes in, potentially with some new ideas, some new players as well, to follow on what was just a remarkable campaign last year?
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult, like as you mentioned, like new manager, so many new players, but I think we stick to our principles, and it's not a real big change. So yeah, I think we did really well, and it's not the way we play, the style we play, it's not a big difference to last year.
The manager has spoken about the spirit within the dressing room. He hasn't had to change anything at all. Are you driving that, and some of the players from last season, are they ensuring that that's maintained?
Yeah, that's what we have to do. The players who are here for a longer period already, and the older players, that's our job, that we drive it, and yeah, I think we did really well.
And now that you've got your first win here, you've already had a couple of wins in Europe, but it's Helsinki next for you. What do you know about the team that you're going to come up against on Thursday night?
Yeah, I think all the Scandinavians, they're really good on the ball. So yeah, I think they will be good as well. And yeah, it will be a tough tough battle again. But I think we have really good chances to compete.
Is it a step up, do you think, from Tirschhaven?
Yeah, for sure. They are for sure better. Yeah.
Good luck then. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, good luck indeed to Lucas Vanninger. I love that. He was very honest there, Scott. First thing he said was, I'm very tired right now. I mean, they did have to work their socks off, Motherwell, particularly in that second half.
Yeah, but the tiredness feels a little bit better when you get 3 points at the end of it and you get a European tie to look forward to on Thursday. All about rest and recovery now. But listen, he was fantastic last season. He started this season in the same vein. He's going to be a massive player for Motherwell this season.
Yeah, particularly, I guess, when you think of Watt and Just away, Callum, and how important that area of the pitch was to Motherwell's ambitions then. And he's also weighed in with goals in each of the first 3, albeit a couple of penalties, but goals in each of the first 3 games.
Yeah, I think so. I think listen, he talks about the leadership and what happened last season, so he'll be driving that. He looks like he's a really good pro. I don't know him personally, but it looks like he's a good pro the way he goes about his business on the pitch, and it's important these guys are there. They know what they did last season. They know how they can continue it. It's going to be an area, if you watched it today, it was actually interesting how they played, because obviously they built 4 and then they boxed the 2 with the 2 sort of Saeed and Charles Cook coming in and making a box, and slightly different, and kept the 2 wide players really wide. So again, all the slightly different things and tweaks, but again, it doesn't alter how they play. So systems doesn't really change how they're going to do it. They'll just move it now and again, and he'll be a big player for them come the next 6 months, obviously the whole season.
2-1 win for Motherwell at Easter Road. We had hoped to hear from David Gray before the end of the programme. We may not get that. If not, then you'll certainly get it up at the website, bbc.co.uk/Sports Scotland. You get it on Sports Scene tonight as well, of course, on the BBC Scotland channel. All the highlights from the 2 big games. 7:15, so it's coming up in about 20 minutes time. We've had 5 games so far in the Premiership season for 26-27. The final one of the opening weekend tomorrow night. It's live on Sports and Celtic against Dundee, and of course Celtic, Scott, will be unfurling the flag and then hoping to get down to business. Not been the busiest transfer window so far, but of course they do go into this season as double champions and Scottish Cup winners from last season. What are you anticipating from Martin O'Neill and his team?
2 strikers who look the part for me. Casper Hu and Duran, both I've obviously seen Casper Hu and playing for Bodo Glimt, and they played in a great system and it created chances and they looked a real handful. But Duran, and from what I'm hearing from inside the club, is they've got real high hopes of him this season. I know in the pre-season games he's got off to a good start scoring goals. I think that always helps when you're joining a club the size of Celtic, is finding the net very early, and that has been the position that Celtic fans have been most frustrated about in the transfer market over the last season, basically since Kyogo left, if we're being totally honest here. So they would have looked at, some of them would have looked at the games over the weekend and feel we need to get off to a good start. I think it's a really difficult game for Dundee, and I don't see anything other than a Celtic win tomorrow night.
Yeah, Stephen Presley signed a new contract. He has warned that still an awful lot of work that he feels needs to be done in terms of the squad and the rest of the transfer window. I mean, it's, you got to be honest, as a manager, as any team, it's not ideal, is it, Callum, when you're sent to Celtic Park for the opening day of the campaign?
Yeah, it's something you look at and you think, oh no, it's one of those. You obviously want a positive start. He knows it's a game that he probably wouldn't want to have taken. Listen, you don't know how warm Celtic are, you don't know how up to speed they are. So again, they'll probably just go there. They'll have a wee sort of quiet sort of belief that they can get the result. They've had a decent start to obviously in the cup games, but again, as we've seen today, it doesn't sort of reflect a lot of things. So that's
why we shouldn't be asked predictions. Callum, isn't it, over the last couple of weeks? Who do you predict? Because it's so hard to go off.
I know. I think I did say 2-1 today for this game, and I did say 3-all. So it was quite close.
Did you say 2-1 Motherwell though?
No, I don't know. I don't know who I said.
3-all for St Johnstone and Kelly.
Yeah, I did.
Where did that come from?
I don't know. A couple of bottles of wine last night. That's where it came from.
Look, boys, thank you so much for your contributions. Scott, thanks for the commentary there alongside Al Lamont and Callum. It's been great to have you on all the way throughout. from 1:30. Remember highlights of both the games and cracking games, got to say. St Johnstone Kilmarnock, which is nuts at times. That's on Sports Scene tonight. That'll be the first game coming up at 7:15 on the BBC Scotland channel, and then all the action too from Easter Road, where Motherwell had to withstand an onslaught in the second half and then created a magnificent team goal 5 minutes from the end to take all 3 points. There will be European action on Thursday night, of course, all 4 Scottish teams in action, and do look out for the Scottish Football Daily podcast published Monday to Friday. You can subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. But from me, Richard Gordon, and the rest of the Sports Sound team, bye-bye for now.